How are you feeling today? Do you feel fulfilled enough? The show will begin in 4 minutes. Are you ready? When was the last time you felt betrayed? When was the last time you felt loved? The show will begin in 3 minutes. Are you ready? What did it feel like to be in love? What is the most painful part of being in love? The show will begin in 2 minutes. Are you ready? Are you ready to be transformed? Are you ready to make a change? The show will begin in 1 minute. I hope you're ready. The show will begin in exactly 30 seconds. Get ready. What if I told you there's a secret method to making men work for you? What if I also told you the only regret you'll have after implementing these methods will be that you didn't start doing this sooner? If you want to understand exactly how these method works, then join me on today's show where we'll be discussing how to show men love without looking desperate. That way you can master the balance between making men feel good about you in this relationship while doing good for you without ever making yourself look bad in the process. Welcome to the Players Club. If you're paying attention to me and everyone else in the live stream, please say here present so that I know you're here present and you're actively participating in the show. It's so good to have you here and spend this time with you. I know I was a little bit late. I was actually dealing with something about my computer. I'm using my old computer today. I had to make some tweaks to the new one that came in. Those of you who follow me on Instagram know I got my new computer yesterday, okay? This is very live. Someone asked, is this pre-recorded? No, it's very me, very in the flesh, very present. I'm really here, okay? Who's here in the TikTok chat? We got Goose here, Renzi here, Lesigo here, Columbia here, Franny here, Diddy's here, okay, and not that type of Diddy. We got Go Plant here, we have Leo here, who else? We got Nadia here, Skate Girl here, Elizabeth here, Zyra here. Welcome, all of you in the TikTok chat. And of course, we have our three moderators, SH, Sharice, and Scotty here. Welcome to all of you in the TikTok chat. Who we got in the YouTube chat? YouTube chat is always patiently waiting for me while I get my stuff together and get going for the show. They're like the early A+ students waiting in class by the time I walk in, okay? We got Null here in the YouTube chat, Mary Kim here, Jazz is here, Friendly Fires here, Joni is here, Irina is here, Tracy Niles, one of our amazing channel members, Olga, one of our amazing channel members, Henya, one of our amazing channel members, Great Fortune Cookie, one of our amazing channel members, Ivy, another one of our amazing channel members, and let me make sure I don't want to miss any. Nicole, I can't miss Nicole, one of our amazing channel members, and one of our most generous channel members, Mercedes, one of our amazing channel. We got lots of people here in the chat today, so shout out all of you. Suzuki Snow is here as well, and she donated before the show even started. Welcome all of you in the YouTube chat, and of course we have Missy America, our principal of the show, joining us as our moderator. All right, let's get this party started. Number one, we're gonna be going right into it. So I know I broke it down in the intro, but I want to do multiple things for you in today's show. I want to give you some concepts that you can help take with you in your relationships, and I guess we call it situationships as well, and with men, mostly relationships, hopefully, and allow you to better understand how men receive love and appreciation. That way, whenever you want to give him that, you know how to give him that in a way that's most impactful. But the kind of bonus point to this and everything that I'm going to share with you is we're going to use these tactics to not only get the man that you want to feel good about the relationship, but we want him to also do good for you. So it's kind of like, you know, a double, you get both at the same time, okay? So let's start off with number one that I kind of want to break down first so that we can all be on the same page. Number one is nature, okay? Now, I want us to break down nature because it's so important to understand how men respond to things because of the way that they're built, their natural disposition, so to speak, in life. So let's talk about a really interesting concept. For men. See, there's a natural inclination for men to gear towards being a problem solver. And their disposition, meaning just their nature, their homeostasis, their place of comfort, is to be a problem solver in life. Why? Because since we were hunters and gatherers, that's kind of the role that they served. As a hunter, in order to bring home the deer, you have to be able to problem solve and figure out how you're going to accomplish the thing that you need to accomplish. So it's kind of been built in our DNA, and it's evolved into different places in our lives. So obviously, we're not cavemen anymore, so I'm not going to bore you with the whole caveman analogy. But what I want you to understand is how problem solving presents itself in different ways in our lives as men, in ways that still grab our attention. So let's kind of think of some of the different webs or places where problem solving is occurring. So for men, when you're flirting with a woman, that is problem solving. Now, you might think to yourself, what is problem solving about flirting with a woman, Tomisin? That doesn't make any sense. Well, the process of problem solving when you're flirting is the idea that if I'm a man and I go up to you, a woman, an unsuspecting woman that has no idea who I am or where I'm from, I see that you're beautiful, I see that you're gorgeous, you look like a supermodel, you look like Megan Good, okay? And I come up to you wanting to get to know you and seeing if you're going to come out on a date with me, if I can get you out on a date with me, if I can convince you through my charisma, my charm, that you should like me and want to get to know me as well. That process, while I'm talking to you, while I'm trying to get to know you, make myself look interesting, I'm decoding your behavior. I'm decoding your tone, your body language, how you're speaking to me, whether you seem to be interested in me or not. So as you're flirting with me, even when you're giving me smiles or you're giving me insinuations that whether or not you're saying you like me, you're making me feel like you like me, I'm that whole process of decoding in my own mind and trying to understand what you mean and what you actually want in order to get access to you, in order to get your time, in order to get your number. That's all problem solving. Which is why when I talk to you guys about flirting, I always focus on making the process of flirting a decoding process for the men and never feeding them information that's so readily, easily available that they don't have to do any work for it. Because men actually enjoy the idea of problem solving. Now let's look at another idea of problem solving or concept of problem solving as it relates to our real world today for men, okay? So one that some of you may or may not like, we have video games, okay? So video games is a function of problem solving. Why? Because when you start from level 0, you have 0 resources, you have nothing at your disposal, just the basics, and you have to work your way up from level 1 to level 100 and figure out how you're gonna do that, how you're gonna build your skills, and how you match up against all the other people who are also playing the game or all the other characters and the bosses and things of that nature. So it's the same idea. You have to be able to problem solve and figure out your way to each and every level in every single video game that these men will play. And we definitely know if the men don't love flirting, then we know they love video games. So it is one or the other, right? Let's look at some other ideas of problem solving, even as it relates to being in a relationship, okay? So let's look at this one that you guys will love. Providing money, okay? Like being financially, providing for you financially in a relationship, right? In order for a man to provide for you financially in a relationship and take care of you financially, he's gonna have to problem solve. He's gonna have to figure out, how can I make enough money not only for me, but make enough money for me and my partner that I can take care of her, allow her to live an easy and good life, while simultaneously being able to take care of myself, okay? What do I have to do? Do I have to build a business? Do I have to work a better job? Do I have to get a higher degree in order to obtain a better job or work for a better company, right? That process, and even managing the bills, managing the money, right? That's coming in and figuring out what you can spend and what you can't spend. All of this, right, is problem solving as well, okay? Let's look at another aspect of problem solving as it relates to relationships, all right? Acts of service. Now, what I want you to understand about acts of service is, for men, the reason that acts of service work so well for them in terms of communicating how they feel about you through their acts of service is because men aren't as good at describing their feelings or emotions to you as you would be. You're articulate, you know how you feel, you can type out 35 paragraphs about your feelings and how you felt on this day and how you felt on this second and that minute, and describe every thought that you had in a clear, concise manner and send it through text, say it in words, or speak a different language and say it. You're so good at that. The men aren't so good at that. They don't understand how to articulate those feelings. However, what they do understand is how to show how they feel about something, whether good or bad, through their actions. So what ends up happening a lot of times in relationships is the way that they end up showing you how much they care or how much they love you is through their acts of service, through the things that they will do for you or not do for you, okay? So the reason I say that and use that as an example of problem solving is because in the process of showing you acts of service, one of the many things that men will do is they'll figure out what are your pain points in life, what are your issues, and they'll take an act of service by solving that problem. Okay, right? So they're problem solving by solving your own problem. And that ends up being an act of service in his relationship with you. So we talked about all of these different kind of webs and functions of problem solving that exist in everyday life. So how does that apply to you and your appreciation to men and how you're going to make this all work for you? So if we understand that men's nature, right, the thing that they lean towards the most is problem solving in their life, right, in their love life, in their relationships, and in their own spare time. If this is the place that most men are spending a lot of their energy, and we want you to be in a position to be able to show that man appreciation, to show that man love in a way that's the most impactful to him, that resonates with him, that he can actually understand, absorb, and use. What place do you think I'm advising you to focus a lot of your energy and appreciation energy when we're talking about appreciation, okay? You're going to focus a lot of that energy in terms of appreciation. Someone said the bedroom. You're going to focus a lot of that energy of appreciation on the problem-solving aspect of his personality and his character, because that is the place that he spends the most time, right, in his life, and is the closest to his heart in terms of how he understands how to communicate love and receive love, okay? All the men that you meet will have a varying level of emotional intelligence. A lot of them will be emotionally stunted, meaning it's very difficult for them to articulate feelings or understand it when they're just speaking it. But what a lot of men know how to do, they know how to problem solve to show you how much they care about you and do things for you to show you how much they care about you. So when we're talking about your appreciation and your love for them and how you show that appreciation and love, we're going to focus in the problem solving area, because that's going to help you while simultaneously helping him absorb this appreciation in a way that he understands, okay? So let's kind of hop into point number 2, and we're going to dive deep in the weeds with this and how this really works and how this will benefit you. Does this point number 1 make sense to you guys so far and why it's so important? I want to make sure we're all on the same page, all right? Let's hop into number 2. Problem solving, very, very important focus. It's going to be the main focus of everything that we do today, some version of problem solving or his ability to do so. So let's talk about number 2. Let me fit it. Oh, I just barely fit it. That makes me so happy. All right. Number 2, action appreciation. So what I want you to do is understand. So we've talked about problem solving and why problem solving is the main place that you're going to focus your attention, okay? So that's a little bit vague in this concept. At least you understand where we're going with this. Now, let's get deeper into the weeds and understanding exactly what are you going to be complimenting or showing your appreciation for in order to show him love in a way that he understands, okay? So let's draw up 2 different examples of you going out on a date with a guy, and let's see what action appreciation looks like versus the wrong type of appreciation that you're used to and won't work with men. So let's say you go out on a date with a guy and you're sitting out, guys, chat, don't judge my drawing skills, all right? I already know you guys are about to say something about my drawing skills. I don't even want to attempt to draw them sitting down because you guys are just going to make fun of me, okay? So whatever. Right, so let's just say he's a big. Damn, how do I draw muscles? I need to get an artist. We're gonna draw him nice and muscly. Okay, these are his arms. He's got Popeye arms. All right, super big muscles here. Damn, I can't draw for nothing. All right, this is you. All right. Why are you playing? All right, this is you here. You got short hair today, no long hair for you because I know you're trying to make fun of my drawing, all right? So this is you and your torso is really short. That's what you get for making fun of my drawing skills, okay? So number 2, action appreciation. So let's talk about the first way that you're gonna show a guy appreciation in the wrong way, right? So when you see this guy and you go out on this first date with him, right? What's natural to you, you're gonna see him, you're like, oh my God, this guy, he's so handsome, he's 6'3". He is so tall, so buff, so strong. His shoulders are so broad. Look at his muscles literally busting out of his sweater. You can you can see all the seams splitting and the fabric is tearing apart. If he sits down, it's gonna burst wide open. And so when you sit down on this date with him, you're thinking in your mind, okay, if I'm gonna show him appreciation for how, amazing I think he is on this date, to show him that I like him, I'm gonna shower him with compliments. Oh my God, you're so hot, right? Oh my God, you're so strong. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God, the muscles are busting out of your shirt, right? Oh my God, your shirt, right? You might even compliment his shirt, even though you're really complimenting his muscles, right? Oh my God, your shirt is so nice. I can see it basically about to rip open and you're so strong. Okay, so these are the natural ways that you're thinking in your mind. Okay, if I'm showing a man love or appreciation and I tell him how hot he is, how attractive he is, that's a version of that. Okay, I'm not saying that it's wrong for you to tell a guy that he's hot, but what I am saying is this is not actually going to impact men the way that you want to impact him, and in a way that actually even serves you. Okay, because while his looks might be a function of something he worked for, it's never going to be in the realm of the type of problem solving or the type of concept that we want you to be focusing on in terms of appreciation. So let's kind of look at what we want you to do and focus on instead. Now, I'm trying to think of how to draw this in a good way that would be visually stimulating, all right? Let's just do it like this. So we'll put a door here. We'll put him here. Okay, I'm drawing him real quick. You don't know, we're not doing this again, okay? So he's here. This time he's skinny. Okay, so never mind the strong guy. This time he's skinny, and he's got long legs. He's a tall guy. And you're here. You're in the background. Okay. Once again, short hair. This is what you get for making fun of me. You don't get a good drawing. And nice torso body here. And we'll give you a little. You got a little Chanel purse. Okay. CC's. Now, you're here. And this is what I want you to do instead when we're talking about appreciation with the guys that you're dealing with. We're specifically going to focus on action appreciation from now on with the men that you deal with. Very specific reason for this. Oh, you're so hot, you're so strong, you're so muscular, you look so good, that red shirt on you looks so nice. Cut that out. Doesn't do anything, it doesn't serve you, and it doesn't help you get to where you want to go, because there's a special place that you want to go. What I want you to start doing is appreciating men for the actions that they take for you, even the actions that you would think or consider are small, because you're doing two things at once. You're showing him love for the way that he problem solves. And never forget, this is a version of problem solving, which I'll explain in a second. And number 2, you're also encouraging behavior that you want to continue, because the reality of it is telling him he's hot, strong, and fits his shirt so nice is not actually going to do you any good for the future of the relationship. Yeah, you're filling up his ego and making him feel nice for being hot, strong, and filling up his t-shirt, but you're not actually doing any favors for yourself or the rest of the relationship. So let me explain to you why this concept works so well in a problem-solving sense. If you understand that men are natural problem solvers, and then you understand that a function of problem solving in a relationship is learning and understanding as a man how to make you happy, because they have the terminology happy wife, happy life for a reason, right? And men, as they begin to date someone, like someone, and actually want to make that woman their woman, they understand that one of the key pivotal points and places of their relationship is understanding and engaging on a regular basis. What is my woman's level of happiness? Is she satisfied in this relationship or in this situation? If she's not, I need to figure out and problem solve why she is unhappy and how to make her happy, because her happiness is going to affect my happiness. You see how that problem solving works itself out in the relationship? So now let's see how this works in terms of how you show him love and appreciation. So if you go out on this date with this guy for the first date, instead of complimenting his t-shirt, what you're gonna do is when you notice that he opens that door for you when you walk by, you're gonna show him appreciation for that. When you notice that he pulls his chair out, where he pulls your chair out, pulls his chair out, pulls your chair out before you sit down, you're gonna show him appreciation for that. When you notice that he opens the car door for you to get inside, you're gonna show him appreciation for that. If he gets you flowers for your date, you're gonna show him appreciation for that. Now, what I want you to start reshaping your mind in is I'm not gonna give away compliments or show love or appreciation for him just being himself. I'm going to show love and give appreciation for the small and larger actions that he will take in a relationship with me that actually show that he cares about my happiness and he's problem solving to make sure that on an ongoing basis, I continue to be happy and satisfied in this relationship. Remember, you're doing two things simultaneously. One, you're showing him that you appreciate his problem-solving skills. Problem-solving in this case meaning trying to figure out what makes me happy and how to serve my happiness in this relationship. You're also doing yourself a favor because you're encouraging and emphasizing, which we'll talk about in our next point, the behavior which you want to continue seeing in the relationship. Because once you compliment his t-shirt and how strong and amazing he is, yeah, he might continue to work out, but what is that doing for you in the relationship? How is that helping you get better treatment from him in the relationship? It's not. You're just boosting up his ego. So we want you focused in the right place, in a place that will do you well in the future, but simultaneously help him understand that what I do love about you, what I do appreciate about you is your problem-solving skills and your ability to be thinking about what makes me happy. Okay? I know it sounds selfish, but I promise you that it works, okay? Does this make sense to you guys so far? Don't worry, we have other points going. I see some people say, how? Tell me exactly how. Tell me the step by. We're going into all the steps, okay? Don't worry. We're going to do more and more and more, okay? Avi says Wolverine looks cute. You guys like to make fun of my drawing. That's not that. Okay. I can work on the muscles a little bit. I don't know how to draw a big muscly man. I don't know how to do that, all right? Does that make sense to you guys so far? Right? It's very important. So important to understand. Action appreciation is what you're going to focus most of your energy on. None of those other types of compliments that don't mean anything. So I guess I should have mentioned this earlier. Action appreciation includes things that he'll do for you, right? Whether him being courteous, him taking time to think about you, right? Him doing things in times where, you know, you're not there or you're not able to think about what your needs are. Those are all action appreciation, okay? So let's hop into number 3. And I'm going to kind of get into more detail about that in this number 3 here, because I do want you guys to understand that. Excuse me. Okay. Number 3. Ooh, let me even do it like this. I wanted to do, let's do it like this. Actually, we'll keep it like that. We'll keep it like that. So what I want us to, kind of visualize here is the idea of bringing a level of seriousness to the appreciation or the love that you're going to show him. Remember, we want it to be impactful. We also want it to do something for you simultaneously, okay? So this has to be very specific in a very specific way. So the examples of things, the reason I put down angry and happy is because this is the mistake that you can easily make even in a relationship. When you're angry about something, right? You're going to do very specific things. You're going to send him an angry text message, right? You're going to show him that you're upset through your facial expressions and show him how mad you are and show him, right? Maybe you might cry, okay, right? Maybe you cry, you shed tears. Oh, it's so sad. You're so sad, right? And you're a sad little wallowing potato, okay? And this is the thing, right? You have expression, you have your text messages, and you might end up having a 2-hour convo with him about all of the ways that you've been so upset about what he did, about what he said, about how he treated you, how you deserve better, how you can't deal with this anymore, how you're on your last straw. And see, all of these things will happen when you're angry. Because when you're angry, it's very, very important for you to feel resolved. You don't want that anger to continue. You don't want that sadness to continue. So you take a level of seriousness to a conversation or the topic of your anger or upsetness. Okay? Now, let's hop into happiness, because this is the mistake that's easily made. See, when you're angry, it's very easy to be very keen on conveying your anger and upsetness. When you're happy, though, with actions that he's showing you, remember, we're action appreciation here. When you're happy, though, with actions that he's showing you, it can become easy to forget that you want to approach that same level of seriousness that you would have with anger when you're actually happy with him. Because if you forget to have that level of seriousness when it comes to happiness, then you only ever emphasize the sadness, okay? And you never do him the favor, because you're doing him a favor to do yourself a favor. Do him the favor of reminding him, when you do these things, I really enjoy these things. It really makes me happy, and you're doing a very good job. So if we're hearing here, right, that the text messages and all of that stuff is things that you would be conveying when you're angry, let's think of some things that you can do in terms of approaching it with seriousness when you're also happy. So what do we want to do, right? We not only, right, want to say with, I guess we don't even have to put here your face, right? Because he's going to see it on your face, right? So we want to use words. I should even put this in parentheses, in person, right? And we also want to use, I guess we could say, expression. And we'll add here as well, expression, and we'll add here as well, we want to have, what's the word I'm looking for? We want to have a level of serious talk. So what I mean by serious talk, the reason I say it like that, let me draw this right. The reason I say serious talk is because you can make the mistake of not allowing there to be a time for you to have a talk where it's not a we need to talk because I need to tell you all the things that aren't working out in our relationship, but a we need to talk because I want to sit you down and I want to tell you how you're doing such a good job doing these specific things. I know it sounds, okay, so I know this is where I'm going to lose some of you, because some of you are going to say, Tomisin, this is so stupid, so unnecessary. Why would I sit him down and have a serious talk with him about the things that he's doing well in the relationship? That's what he's supposed to be doing. I'm not going to congratulate him and give him a hand clap for doing all these things that he's supposed to be doing as a good man who's serving me in a relationship. He didn't cheat. I'm not going to congratulate him for that. He pulled my chair out. I'm not going to congratulate him for that. But wait a second. And this is where I want to keep you to help change your mindset towards something in a little bit. So the reason I say this is because, remember, you took this level of seriousness when it came to your anger very, very seriously. You took that approach seriously. You wanted to sit him down seriously. You wanted to have a 2-hour conversation to express how you felt. If you make the mistake of not taking that same level of seriousness in the times where you're happy or appreciative of that behavior, then you're only emphasizing bad and you're never emphasizing good. And men are emotionally stunted. So when they're problem solving and trying to understand what they should be doing for you, if you don't make the mistake of making the conversations very serious when you want to express that he's doing a good job, it becomes very easy to forget or miss the fact that this was a good job. So this is where I want to kind of hold you. Emphasis on particular areas is so important if you want to continue seeing that over and over again. And remember, you're in the business of action appreciation. You're in the business of action appreciation because you want to continue seeing that same thing, that same action over and over again. So let's give some examples of action appreciation as they can exist in your relationship so that you can become serious with them. So let's say, for the sake of example, this guy, in terms of your relationship with him, let's say he noticed that you're having this issue with your gym shoes, and your gym shoes are really uncomfortable. You've been complaining about them for a while, and you're really into squats. And when you do your squats, the shoes that you wear are like these running training shoes that you got at the Nike store, but they're unbalanced. So when you're doing your squats, you're starting to feel pain in your heels. You're starting to feel pain in your feet because it's very unbalanced in this, in the process of you doing your squats. You need something more flat, but you just don't know where to get them. You don't know what to get. You don't know what type of shoes you want, and you're still trying to pick and choose. And let's just say, for the sake of example, this guy goes out of his way to buy you a pair of flat-footed shoes so that you can squat better. And he brings you, I don't know, some Nikes, some flat-footed Nikes. And he's like, hey, I got you these flat-footed Nikes so that you can do better squats because I know you were complaining about your feet and things like that. This is a time where you want to show appreciation for the action, because he just solved the problem for you. And he problem solved for himself, because happy wife, happy life. Making you happy makes him happy. So he went about the business of trying to figure out how he can make you happier. But I don't want you to just think, okay, well, this is a time for me to just say thank you and forget about it, right? So the same way you would address and write in your notes all the things that he's been doing for you lately, and he's been not doing for you lately, and be very specific about, you didn't do this, and when we had a conversation about this, you ignored this point, and you didn't respond to me on this day, and you ignored me on this day. You know how you write it in your notes so that when you come to him and you tell him how you've been feeling, you're very specific? I want you to do that same thing. So if he were to do this thing for you, not only do you show him appreciation by saying your obvious thank you, but at the end of the week, or let's say a week later from that time, you're going to mark down all of these things that he's taken action on, that you really appreciate what he did there, right? You really appreciate the fact that he was thinking of you at that time, the fact that you didn't even ask for that he just went out of his way to do that thing for you. Now, you're probably thinking in your mind, why am I spending so much of my time and energy focusing on trying to worship my man and show him how amazing he is? What you're doing is you're emphasizing the things you want to continue to see. And you're bringing a level of seriousness to those conversations as you would if you were angry. Because what you don't realize, and we're going to get to that at the end, what you don't realize is you're rewarding him for doing something for you. So if you create a feedback loop where every time he does something for you, he feels a reward for it, you're actually doing yourself a favor, because he will continue to desire to do that same thing over again to feel that same reward. It's very similar to a dog, which we're going to get to at the end of the show, right? And I want you to understand this concept that it's not about worshiping your man, that every single little thing he does, I'm going to make him feel like he's the best thing since sliced bread. It's about understanding giving him a reward for doing things for you will make the reward more exciting and enticing to continue doing over and over again. And who ends up being happy when you're getting all of that special, amazing, awesome, actionable treatment from him all the time? You end up being happy. So think of it as helping him to help you help the relationship. Everyone wins, right? And that's what I want you to kind of take from today's show. It's not about one person winning or the other when you're showing him love or appreciation. It's about both of you winning, but understand how you help him win so you can win yourself. Okay, does that make sense? Lola says examples, please. I just gave you guys an example. How many? I can't go all day giving examples. But does that make sense to you guys so far, and why that's so important? Okay, you bring that level of seriousness to the conversations. Now, let me even say something else as well when it comes to seriousness, okay? What I want you to do, this conversation, one, okay, let me be very specific, should be happening in person. I know you like to send angry texts. You're not going to send happy texts. We want it to be impactful, right? So number one, those words, right, you conveying how you feel is going to happen in person. Number two, we want you, in the process of you expressing how you feel, we want you to get detailed about how you feel and why you feel that way. Say exactly what action he did, when he did it, and how it made you feel. Do that for each and every action. So if that requires you to have to write it down in your journal or write it down in your notebook so you can remember all of the things that he did, then do that. I know it sounds very stupid and silly, because why would anyone be writing down all the good things that he did? I promise you though, I can assure you, I'm a man and I'm telling you this, it will take you such a long way when you're showing that appreciation for the action, not just for his looks, for the action, even on the little things. It will let him know you're paying attention to even the smallest little things he does for you. So he will know any action I do for her, whether small or large, will not go unnoticed. That is you have to understand, you're building this foundation for the rest of your relationship. That is a very good dog treat to give him in the relationship to help build off of. The understanding that every small good thing you do for me in this relationship will go recognized, it will go appreciated, and it will be addressed. You will not do good things for me and it will not be addressed in this relationship and be glossed over. And I only talk to you in a serious sense when I'm angry. When you do good, it will be addressed. It will be brought up in the relationship, our relationship, and in our talks and conversation. And you will get the opportunity to feel good for doing all of the little things. It's very important you set that precedent so that he can continue feeling good about doing those things. Okay. I know it sounds silly, but I'm helping you understand how men work. Okay. Ivy says, can this apply to texting? No. Okay. No. We want this to be as impactful as possible. So remember, I even tell you guys when it comes to sending angry messages, don't do that over the phone, because it's not going to be as impactful. Addressing things over text, the same thing with your happiness. We need you, when you're addressing the happiness and you're giving out all of your points, we need this to happen in person so he can really feel that. Right? This is like, okay, I don't want to get graphic here. Those of you who are under 20 should be out of the chat anyways. This is like your emotional, it's like an emotional hand job, okay? Just think of it like that. It's an emotional wanking. You're stroking him emotionally. Now, you're not stroking his ego, but this is a time where you're showing him appreciation, or maybe I should say emotional head. We'll say it like that. Emotional head, because, and I actually mean that, because this is you showing him how much you appreciate what he's done for you, but from an emotional standpoint. Okay? And using your words, your expression, and the seriousness you bring to this conversation to show him how much you appreciate that. Okay? It's very important for you and him to set this kind of in motion from the very beginning. All right, let's hop into number 4. I don't want to spend too much time on that point. All right, let's go here. I hope that makes sense to you guys so far. Please, no text. Anytime you have appreciation, if you're not able to see him, and you have appreciation that you want to share with him, I want you to write it down. And then that way, by the time the next time you see him you have a whole bunch of stuff that you can remember to tell him that you appreciate about what he did for you, okay? So it's even more impactful that way, because then once you come up with all the 97 things that he's done for you, it's, you spend the whole time telling him how amazing he is. He's thinking about how he can do all those more things for the next time he sees you, all right? Let's go on to number 4. All right? All right. So number 4. Okay, this can be an easy mistake to make in your relationships with men, right? So obviously, you have current, and then you have ex, right? So here's the thing that you don't want to make the mistake of doing with the guys that you're dating. Whatever, I'm not drawing them good today. Who gives a damn? This ain't art class, right? All right. So you're gonna have, obviously, assuming you've had other relationships outside of the one you have with this guy, and you're gonna have an ex and you're gonna have a current. And both of those people are gonna have different character traits. You're gonna have different experiences with those people. What you don't want to happen is getting in a position, and I've talked to you guys about this before, Don't make the mistake, though, of when you're showing him love that you make yourself look bad by saying, oh my God, right? My ex, he never took me out, right? He was, well, let's say he spent no money, right? And you just go on and on about the different aspects of your ex-man on how he didn't do this, he didn't do that, and you're the first guy in my life to ever do something nice for me. You're the first guy in my life to ever hold a chair out for me. You're the first guy in my life to ever pay for my dinner. All the other guys make me pay. You're the first guy in my life to ever buy me roses. I've never honestly gotten that before. I know that you're just saying that because you're being honest about who you are and honest about your experience in life. That's good. I'm not saying don't be honest about your experience, but we don't want to, in the process of you showing him love and appreciation, even for the actions he's taking, we don't want you to devalue yourself in his own eyes by making him feel like he's the first guy to actually do those things for you. There's a difference between showing someone appreciation for what they did for you in this current moment and trying to, presenting yourself in a way where you make them feel like they're the first person to actually see enough value in you to treat you well. And you don't want to make the mistake of having your appreciation become sort of mirror where he's starting to realize what your ex did for you is not at all what I'm doing for you. In fact, I'm literally the first guy, right? The first guy to treat you well. That's not good. All right? We don't want you to describe your appreciation when you're showing your love for him this way. So what are we going to do, right? This is why this point is called focus. We're going to focus your appreciation and your love for him on exactly on what he is doing for you in this current moment, in this relationship, at this current time. We're not going to preface what we say by saying no guy ever did blank for me. Okay? We're not going to add on to it, I've never experienced this before. Oh, I don't deserve the. Okay. I don't want to go on a rant. I'm not going to go on a rant. I promise I won't rant. I said I wouldn't rant about this at the beginning. Do not ever add to your sentences when a guy does something nice for you. I don't deserve this. I don't feel like I deserve this. Okay? I just never thought that this was me. I've just never had a guy go to these lengths. Stop. Stop. I know that you think you're being super humble, right? Super appreciative and super honest with your experience and how great this is, right? I'm so overwhelmed. I've never had this before, right? A lot of you guys add this sauce. Stop it. Stop it. You can show your appreciation for what he's doing for you, and I want you to show him that love for those actions he's taking. Do not add the sauce onto it by saying, oh my gosh, I don't deserve this. No one's ever done this for me. I never thought someone would go to these lengths for me. Why? Because it's the same thing as describing your ex as having never done these things before. You're actually thinking that, oh, I'm being so humble and I'm showing him how humble and appreciative I am. But what you're actually doing is you're making your value look lower and lower and lower, right? Appreciate the action without adding on the caveat that no one would ever do this for me or has ever done this for me, right? You are not a peasant. You are not some scum that people step on and wipe their feet on and move on, okay? And you definitely don't want to be presenting yourself that way to your man. You show appreciation for what he's done and the action he's done without adding on the sauce that no one will ever do something like this for me, right? That's not that doesn't have the magic and the luster that you think it does, okay? I know you're probably thinking, oh, if I add that he's the first guy to ever do it and no one would ever do this for me in a million years, that will make it so much more better as if he's saving my. No. People never want to be the first to do something or see value in something. They want to be the person who recognizes the value and gets the person who everyone else already thinks is valuable. They do not want to be the only one seeing value in someone or something, because that generally means that there's no real value there. So the reason I say that is don't make that mistake in the process of showing men that you care about them or appreciate them, right? In all the things that we talk about, by adding this caveat that's going to kind of dwindle down everything that you want to be doing here. Because remember, you're showing him love so that it can impact him in a way that he understands, but you're also doing something very important for you by allowing this process, this feedback loop, to continue going, because as you show that appreciation for the actions, he continues to feel good about that appreciation and then continues to do good for you. Okay, right? Vivi says, should we lie and boost ourselves? No, there's no need to. The focus should be on the action, right? What he did and what it made you feel, okay? So, for example, if that guy buys you, like in the example I gave earlier about the guy buying you the gym shoes that you needed in order to do your squats that are flat-footed that would help you do squats better. You show your appreciation by, let's say you sit him down at the end of the week and you guys are having conversations, one of these popcorn movie dates that you have, you say, look, I really want to have this conversation with you and let you know that I appreciate you so much for getting me my gym shoes this week. I was able to, and this is where it gets really good when he does things for you. If you can describe to him how your life has been better because of what he did for you, it's so good. Now you can go into before. All right, this is where you can add the sauce. Before I was doing squats, my feet were hurting. Oh my God, I had to ice my feet every day after I would do squats. So unbalanced, I felt like I was gonna tip over. This is where you add the sauce. And then you say, but now, when I started using the shoes that you got me, oh my God. It's like I can lift 50 pounds more. Oh my God, I'm like Superwoman. I'm like Wonder Woman in the gym now squatting this way. Cause it's like I'm so balanced now. I never knew how much I needed this. You can't even imagine how much better my life is because I have these shoes that you got for me, that you took your time to research and find which were the best ones for me so that I could go to the gym and squat heavier. You have no idea how much I appreciate that. That's where you add the sauce. But you see how the sauce is all focused on what he did, how it changed your life, and how it made you feel. You're not saying, oh my God, you're the first guy to ever get me shoes. I've never had a man get me shoes before. I don't know why you would do that. I don't deserve that. Did I ever say in my example, did I ever say I don't deserve shoes? No. Did I ever say no guy has ever gotten me shoes? No. Did I ever say I've never been gifted something? No, you don't do that, okay? You show him the appreciation for what he did, how it's affected your life without adding the caveat of nobody would ever do that for me or I don't deserve this. You do deserve that, but just because you deserve that, that doesn't mean you're not appreciative of what he did for you. See, there's a very fine line and a balance there, which is exactly why we're having this show. It's not just one extreme or the other. Oh, I deserve it, so I'll never mention it and just pretend like it's not happening. Right? But it's also not, oh, I'm so humble that I'll express to him how no guy would ever do me this way because all guys treat me like dirt. That's not what you want to do, right? It's in the middle there. Does that make sense to you guys and why that's so important? Okay, so if you're gonna add sauce anywhere, right, you add the sauce in how much it's changed your life or bettered your life. Because remember, problem solving for men is also making you happy as his wife, right? Wife, quote unquote. Happy wife, happy life. So as his wife or his girlfriend, if his desire is to make you happy and you can express or add the sauce to how much he's making you happy by making your life better, now you're connecting with him and touching him in a place that he actually understands and feels. Does that make sense to you guys? Okay. So let's hop into our point number 5 that will tie all of this together for you and how you're kind of going to maintain this. So I've described to you guys feedback loop. So let's hop into number 5. All right, Number 5, we have dog treats. The reason I'm going to describe them as dog treats is because you're doing something for him. He's doing something for you. As he does something for you, you give him something in return, and so on and so forth. So let's say you start off with this. We'll call it, we'll call it these good actions, right? On his side, right? So we'll put up here, man, good actions. Then we have this circle, the circle of life. Then we get to the, we'll call it the appreciation here. Right? Then after we get to the appreciation, right? Oh, actually, I should put here appreciation, then let's see here. No, we'll do this. So he takes, we'll do it like this. So you have your, we'll say the base relationship. Then you have here appreciate, oh, I should have said action. My brain's moving so fast, chat. You have your action here, then we have your appreciation over here. Then after the appreciation, right, you have your, I guess we can say, we'll say your recognition. Right? And then we'll go relationship again. So what I wanted to describe to you like this, I didn't do it absolutely perfectly, but what I wanted to describe to you in this kind of circle here is we want there to be a feedback loop of everything that you do here. We want there to be a constant cycle of as your relationship goes and he does things for you, you get appreciation, he gets recognition, and then your relationship goes on and so forth, right? So actually what we can do here is instead of it being recognition, I think this would be a better description here, right? He gets this, we'll call this one the dog treat. Because the reason I put the dog treat here is because after you give him that appreciation, this is where the reward comes in of him feeling to himself, I did a good job. So when a guy takes action for you, let's say he buys those shoes for you and he does that thing for you knowing that you need this thing. He takes this action here knowing that you will benefit for it, you'll be a happier person because of it, and he will have made you a little bit happier in this relationship, which is a function of problem solving. Then you have your appreciation in the relationship, which is also the recognition in the relationship. This is you externally recognizing him and appreciating him for what he did for you. Then we get to the dog treat, which this is happening internal within him. What I mean by the dog treat is when you show him that appreciation and that recognition, he then feels within himself that, oh, I did a good thing. My woman is happy because I took this action. Remember, you helped them spell it out in your appreciation. You were so specific with it in your appreciation. When you talked about it and described it, you went in detail about how it made you feel, about what it did for you, and you know how your life is so much better because of it, like we talked about before, right? Remember, you're going in detail. And because of that, when he has this internal dog treat, he says to himself, wow, this process feels really good of doing things for her because I know that I can always, and this is where I want to tie in from the very beginning, what we talked about problem solving in men's nature. Men always are able to understand, how do I transform my feelings about someone into actions I take for them? Okay? Men know how to do that. They find it more difficult to say, how do I transform my feelings I feel for someone into words? Right? And articulate those things. Some men might be good at that, okay? But a lot of men find that difficult to do. What they don't find difficult to do is to continuously do things for you that would clearly show that they appreciate you. Let me give you an example of that maybe you guys might connect with you. Have you ever seen, or think about this type of relationship? Have you ever seen a relationship where it's like an old couple? And this old couple, it will be like an old man, and every morning at 7 a.m., he will wake up 1 hour before her. Let's say his wife wakes up at 8 a.m. And his wife will wake up at 8 a.m. And because he knows his wife wakes up at 8 a.m. and she always likes to drink coffee when she wakes up at 8 a.m., when he wakes up at 7 a.m., he'll always come downstairs and make her a cup of coffee in her favorite mug before she wakes up, so that when she comes downstairs, that cup of coffee will already be ready, okay? Right? I'm sure when I'm describing that, you're already thinking, I feel like I've met an old couple like that before, right? It's just something that you kind of just see from certain types of couples. Now, let me help you understand what's going on here and break this down for you. See, a lot of men, it's hard for them to wake up every single day and say to their woman, I love you so much. I care about you this way. I care about you that way. You mean this much to me. You're so important in my life. It's harder for men to be able to do that. Not because they can't, it's just not in their nature to be able to take feelings and just describe them in a way that you'll understand and will make sense to you. But what they can do very well is take their feelings and just simply take an action that is for the betterment of your life, that would convey the same message that I feel these very strong feelings for you. They're very good at connecting those. And it's not a function of, oh, right or wrong, because I've seen Sammy say, why is that hard? It's just a function of us being different as human beings, okay? Men are different from women. The way we absorb things are different. The way we receive things are different. And the way we approach things are different. There's nothing wrong with that. We're meant to be different. So the reason I say that is because I want you to start understanding if men are that way, and that's their nature, in order to be able to describe emotion or convey emotion or express emotion, then if you can appreciate him under the umbrella of the things that he understands, in the nature that he knows and the language that he knows how to speak, well, now all of a sudden, you're actually showing him appreciation and showing him love in a way that impacts him, but you're simultaneously emphasizing the type of actions that you want to continue seeing, which is why I called it dog treats, but I also made it kind of a merry-go-round here, because you want this process to continue being a feedback loop of you delivering him a reward for the action. That way it encourages him to continue taking the action, okay? Right? Because that feedback loop will essentially, and this is why I called it dog treats, it will essentially train him that good behavior gets rewarded with this appreciation here. And as you get that appreciation, you're going to feel that internal dog treat of, oh, wow, I did something good for my woman. My woman is happy now. I'm happier because I know I did the work and the problem solving required to make my woman happier. Now, when we return to our relationship, I'm more inclined to take more action that makes her happier because I know it's going to go noticed and it's going to be addressed, and I'm going to feel that dog treat once again. So in a weird way, the men start chasing around the dog treat, but in the process of chasing around the dog treat, i.e. the appreciation, they end up doing more for you. So you win because he does more for you, but he wins because every time he does something for you, he feels better about it, okay? Does that make sense, right? And that's what I kind of want to describe to you guys and why that's so important. Visa says what counts as a dog treat, a handy? No, that's not at all what, no, not even close, okay? You clearly weren't listening. By the way, if you guys missed any of the points that we discussed here, go on to my YouTube. I said go on my TikTok. Go on my YouTube channel for those of you who are on TikTok. My YouTube is just Tomisin, Atobatele on the top right corner of the screen. For those of you on TikTok, you can rewatch all the points as I gave them in their entirety on my YouTube because I'm live there at the same time. And you can rewatch all of these points, okay? Does that make sense to you guys so far? By the way, if you guys have any questions, I'm going to answer them right now. And if you have a personal question for me, maybe unrelated to this show topic, just in general about your relationship, and you want me to answer it, I do answer all of my personal questions if you go to the specific personal relationship advice link, the private relationship advice link. You go to the private relationship advice link. It's in my bio on TikTok. It's also in the link in my description. You ask your question there. You can type it out, type as much as you want to type. in all the detail you want, and then I get back to you with a voice message, and I send it back to your email that you sent in your question with. Okay, so that link's in my bio on TikTok. It's also in the link in my description where you can ask me a personal question, and you're guaranteed to get a response from me that way. Okay, you guys know I be getting hundreds of DMs, so it's very difficult to follow DMs. That link is for the private questions. So do you guys have any questions about these specific points? Oh, let me make sure to also go into our donations, because I know you guys were donating while we were doing the show. Suzuki Snow donated $7. That was at the very beginning of the show. Thank you so much, Suzuki Snow, for donating your $7. Also, thank you to Alexandria and Susan Snow, who donated in the TikTok chat. I see it there. So thank you very much for your donation of your coins. It's very, very appreciated. Okay. So Diane says, does this resonate even if you guys are not dating? The answer to that question is yes and no. The reason I say that is because this will resonate with a man who actually cares about your happiness. So of course, you can be not necessarily dating a man who is actually invested in you, like really invested in you, and the longevity of this relationship. And because of that, when you do this, this will actually work how it's supposed to work. Now, if you're not in a relationship with the guy and he doesn't really care about anything but sleeping with you, and you're trying a lot of this on him, none of this is going to work how it's supposed to work. Because you're showing him appreciation for stuff that he doesn't care to be appreciated about. He just wants to sleep with you. So when you're telling him thank you for, opening the door, he's thinking to himself, bruh, I'm opening the door to my house so I can smash you tonight. It's 4 a.m., right? So it's not really the same thing. So you have to use discernment to be able to understand when this applies and when it doesn't. And this applies to men who are actually invested in you, not men who are just casually trying to sleep with you or use you. Okay, so understand that that's not something you're just going to use to overcome a guy not liking you, right? I always have to give that caveat whenever we talk about topics like this, because I don't want you guys thinking that this is like supposed to be some sort of like magic pill to get a guy who doesn't like you to like you. That's not how that works. Okay. Null says, what about buying gifts to boyfriends to show appreciation? Slippers, PJs, sweats, snacks, material items. My honest advice, Null, excuse me, and anyone else who's wondering about gifts, I'll be real with you. A man who has money and has resources is not going to be that impressed by gifts. Honestly, as a woman, the best thing you can give him is appreciation. I'll be truthfully honest with you. And that doesn't have to be just on Christmas Day. The reason for that is that appreciation is the boost men need to be able to work harder for you. So the gifts, the small slippers and things like that, yeah, some of them are good, especially maybe if he can actually utilize them. But what's even better is the appreciation of the hard work you see him doing. So if you see that this man that you're dating is working very hard for you, to provide for you, or to do things or get things for you, the appreciation and the acknowledgement of the hard work you see him doing when no one's watching, or no one's paying attention, or he thinks no one's paying attention, is so much more motivating and boosting than any, mug or, coffee maker that you can buy him. You understand what I'm saying? Because it makes all of those other 365 days where a guy's grinding and working towards something so much sweeter, because they know that they're doing it for a reason and they will be recognized for doing that. You have to understand how men tick and how they work, and which is why I'm trying to help you guys kind of understand that. Nicole donates $5 in the YouTube chat. She says, this was great and an informative show. As always, thank you for looking forward to rewatching this one. I hope that those of you who are in a relationship can rewatch this, or, in a more serious talking stage, can rewatch this and get this, right? It's not that gifts in itself, like physical gifts, are necessarily bad, but I will say appreciation is always better. And that's something you can give all the time. Now, obviously, when it comes to Christmas, gifts is, more of like a thing that we all do. But if you can be thinking of giving a gift that could combine some sort of, appreciation for something he's done for you, i.e., I don't know, maybe some sort of, I don't know, memento of a period that he did this thing for you, he took you on a trip or whatever it may be. Sentimental things for men, I think, as weird as it sounds, are more valuable than you buying him, small things you can get at Shoppers Drug Mart or CVS. I think if you can get creative with your gifts in terms of creating something that could be a memento for him, or a memory for him, or an experience for him, or for the both of you, so much better. If you can save up the money you were gonna spend on getting a bunch of little things on one single experience with him and you, I personally think so much more impactful than getting a gift. An experience to me will always be better, for men at least. It's more memorable for them. Usually it means more, and then it's also a thing that you can do together. Because for the most part, a lot of men, if they have enough money to get what they want, you getting them a small mug or a coffee maker is not like, they may or may not use it. You know what I mean? They'll be like, yeah, this is great. And they may or may not use it. An experience is always something that can last a lot longer in your mind, in your soul, and in your spirit. That's my own personal take. Maybe some of you might feel differently, okay? Patsy says, like a vacation. Well, not necessarily, right? Because a vacation costs a lot of money. I'm talking about experience in the sense of it could just be doing something that together that he's always wanted to do, or doing something that he might enjoy and never realized that he would enjoy it. It could be something like stepping out of his comfort zone, right? For the sake of it, just randomly, right? It could be bungee jumping, right? It could be skydiving. It could be, I don't know, just going somewhere that he's never gone before, but you've heard him mention, right? If it's a gift that you want to give him on a special occasion, then you want it to be something like just out of left field. Like you want it to be something different than, because I've seen Ivy mention bowling or go-karts. If it's supposed to be like a Christmas gift or a birthday present, then you would want to lean towards an experience that's something like really out of the norm, something you'd really have to like plan in advance for. But if it's just like a regular everyday type of thing, then it doesn't have to be that crazy, right? But when you're thinking of that, I advise in terms of gifting men, experiences are the number one, okay? Henya says no video games. Yeah, don't. Why gift your man something that will, one, take your time with him away from you, okay? And then also distract him more, that will probably lead to him making less money. So you're losing in every way. He's got something that he'll spend less time with you, and then also something that might cause him to make less money because he's focusing more on the game than making money. So now you lose in multiple ways. That man that you're with has less money, and then he also has less time with you. That's like the worst of the worst. Don't buy your man video games or an Xbox or a PS5, okay? Buy your man some tools to make more money, all right? Or to work harder, or something like that, or an experience with him. Not no damn video game that can take all his time, that he'll be spending all that damn time playing that video. Chat, I tell you, boy, don't get me started, bro. I'll be here for 30 minutes just talking about it. My kids ain't gonna have no damn video games, I'll tell you that. I'll tell you that for free. So, who else we got a question from here? Angel says, but he does work very hard. We play video games together. Look, if that's your experience, I'm not gonna poo-poo on that. My problem with video games is, for a lot of men, it's an escape from their real problems and real issues. And for a lot of men, they're not where they would like to be. They'd want to be richer with more resources, bigger house, better car. And when they're not there, and then they're spending their time playing video games, they'll say it's to relax themselves. But if we're being serious, it's not relaxing to play competitive video games, okay? Because you're trying to win, and there's a stress involved in losing. So if there's stress involved in losing, and it's stressful to try and win all the time, then how is that a relaxing experience? It's not. It's an escaping experience, right? And if you're using a video game to escape your real life and addressing the things that are bothering you in your real life, why don't you just address the things that are bothering you so you don't have to escape all the time? That's my own personal thing. I know I'm stupid. I'm an idiot. I have no idea what I'm talking about. Everyone should just keep playing video games. What do I know? I'm just, a random person. I'm like an AI, so I don't know what I'm talking about. So Madison said men are real pick-meshas. Kayla said, I had an ex that played video games too often. LOL, granted we were younger, but it still got annoying. Yeah, I don't want to rant too long. Aisa says, my talking stage only calls / sees me once a week, but he keeps talking about future plans with me. If he's talking about them but not actually doing anything, then you're wasting time, right? He can talk till he's blue in the face, but what is that actually doing, okay? Does that make sense? Electric Field says, Tomisin, I think it would be cool to do a show on different male archetypes. You guys want me to do a show on the video game playing archetype? That we can talk about all the different guys out there, right? Covered Tiffany says, I never want to be with a gamer again. Trust me, it's I'm sure it's very tough. I'm sure I can imagine that feeling that you're losing time, not to another human being, but to a video game can be very, very tough, okay? All right, chat, let's hop into our next segment of the day. I hope you guys got these points here. Don't worry, we're gonna still have conversation. Now, first of all, if you have a private question for me, put that in to the private questions section. But if you have a question that you want answered on the Discord time, because we're going to get to Discord time at the end of the show where I'm also answering questions of yours, but I'm answering them live on the show for everyone to see as well. If you have a question for me, please make sure to go into our Discord and drop your question in our Discord relationship advice, forum there. And when you do that, I'm going to be answering them at the end of the show. So make sure you do that so it's there for me when I want to answer it at the end of the show. All right. But this next segment is going to be our react segment of the show. Spam up your camera emojis, spam up your headphone emojis. We're going to be watching videos that you all have sent to me in the TikTok universe about relationships and love. And we're going to be discussing those together, okay? While I clean up this board and bring my chair in, we're going to watch a intermission video. Today's intermission video comes from a different creator today. We have Simone Squared. She's talking about 25 principles for irresistible charm and seduction. While she talks to you about that, I'm going to clean up, then I'll be with you all in a moment, okay? Simone Squared, please.
Number one, you want to embrace mystery. Simply don't reveal all aspects of yourself too fast. This is my least favorite point because I'm such a yapper and I quite literally have no filter. But luckily I embrace all of the other 24 points.
Oh shit, what is that?
Mystery keeps people wanting more. If you're revealing everything about yourself too fast, there is nothing to uncover. By the way, don't let someone manipulate you into revealing a lot, by the way. A trick I notice guys always do to make you feel insecure, they'll be like, you're really guarded. You should like let your walls down. And it's like, hello, I don't even know you. And then you just start to reveal yourself subconsciously because you're trying to prove yourself. It might not be at a conscious level. Don't allow that to happen. You control the narrative, not just in dating, but in any element of your life. You don't need to just create mystery in real life, but on your social media profiles. You know, if you don't post too much, it creates a sense of mystery. You can really curate how people perceive you. Next point, which is one of my personal favorites. I have so many confidence videos, guys. Confidence is magnetic. You know why? It's also because so many people are not confident, so they want to be around people who they want to be like because it actually rubs off on you. People who project self-belief and assurance, they actually can put other people at ease and they will naturally attract others. So if you're like, oh, I'm not confident, blah, 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 how can I be more confident? Baby, watch my other videos. Additionally, fake it till you make it. That's it. If someone comes and they're like, you're ugly, bitch, where?
This bitch called me ugly. I said, bitch, where? She said, under all that makeup. I said, bitch, where?
So I have confidence in that area, right? But if someone comes up to me and they're like, at the gym, they're like, you're squatting wrong. I'm not gonna be like, you're wrong. I'm squatting correctly. I'm going to be like, guess I'm not coming back to the gym. No, I'm kidding. But I don't have as much experience in that area. So yes, I'm gonna be unconfident in that. What I'm saying is you can develop confidence simply by becoming more skilled at something. And through being more skilled, you're going to have more self-assurance. Like imagine if I was a bodybuilder, someone came up to me at the gym, you're squatting wrong. I'd be like, who are you to tell me that? Like, no, I'm not. Next point, mastering your body language. I literally made a video on this a couple of weeks ago, guys. But body language is everything. It is how we subtly communicate, especially to the subconscious minds of others. So if you're doing very fast pace movements, it's not sexy. And it actually shows you can be quite anxious. Slow your movements down, and when you become a master at all these techniques I teach you in all of my videos, you can really easily fake it. Like sometimes
our react segment here, and thank you. Oh, by the way, this creator, guys, is Simone Squared. Simone SIMONE squared, like squared, and she's on YouTube. Okay, so that is her handle because I've seen some of you guys wondering where you can find her. Let's hop into our awesome reaction section. Okay. Lots of videos for me that you guys sent to me. Let's see where we left off here.
Him keeping you around, him texting you, calling you, keeping in touch with you, saying things like, oh, let's, come over, let's go for a walk. Him just wanting your company.
Someone said, what's your Cash App? You can just donate on the show through the TikTok app. I know the TikTok app is really weird. Excuse me, sorry. I know the TikTok app is really weird. If you want to really donate, go on to either my YouTube, because YouTube's a lot easier to Google, so it's a lot easier to donate there. My YouTube channel is just, above my head on the top right corner of the screen there. You can go on YouTube and hit the, and do the super chat, super sticker or whatever, and just donate there, because I know TikTok's a little bit weird. I don't have a Cash App.
That doesn't mean anything. That doesn't mean that he is very interested in you. His level of interest can be determined by how much he invests in you. And I'm not talking about buying the bags or, taking you out. Yeah, that's all great. I'm talking about actually investing time, resources, everything into you, because he sees you in his future. He sees you as a serious partner for him, and he sees a future with you. So when you tell him, okay, this is important to me, he's helping you try to figure things out. When you tell him, oh, I need this problem solved, he's helping you trying to fix the problem. When you tell him, oh, I need this, he's
like we just said, men are natural problem solvers. And part of the problem on an ongoing basis in your relationship will be happy wife, happy life, right? So your problems become his problems.
investing in getting whatever it is that you need. He's not over here on your phone just texting you like, oh, I'd love to see you, never planning dates, or calling you, but never caring about what's important to you, or never caring about your problems, never actually trying to elevate your life in any way, never trying to actually make things easier for you in any way. These type of guys who just want your company, who just want to keep you around, and they seem like they're interested, they seem like they, want to be with you, they seem like they're serious, they're not really serious because they're not investing in you. So when he's not investing in you, he doesn't actually see any future. He does not see that you are going to be in his future. Him keeping you
100% agree. I 100% agree, which is exactly why when you're gauging a man's interest, you're trying to kind of nudge, roll things out there and see what he does with it. What I mean by that is when you want to gauge if a man likes you, you have to see how much he's willing to invest in you. You're not going to force him to invest in you, but you want to see and observe how much is he willing to do in order to have this relationship work and for us to be in this relationship, right? And if the answer to that is basically nothing and he just wants me to be around him and just wants me to keep him company and so that he's not lonely, then he's not willing to invest very much, in which case you might as well walk away, because those are the guys who will waste your time. And then after about a year or so, you'll be saying, so are we going to date now? And they'll be like, date? I thought we were just friends. Silly.
Here's 3 things a guy says when he's lost feelings. This is the tried and true, all reliable, I'm just so stressed right now. Conversation usually goes like this. Oh my God, I've noticed that you haven't really texted me that much. Is everything okay? Oh, I'm sorry, I'm just so stressed right now.
Lies.
I haven't had the energy. Yeah, he's stressed because you won't leave him alone. Now,
Truth.
I know that you want to live in Delulu, and that's okay, and I don't want to disillusion you before Thanksgiving. But do me a favor and ask him exactly what he's stressed about. And it's going to be some stupid bullshit like, oh, my cat's just old. This is preceded usually by a couple days of not texting very much. Then they hit you with, oh, I'm just not much of a texter. I'm not on my phone like that. Let's do a little thought experiment though, okay? If Madison Beer sent him a text message, he would text her back so fast his screen would catch fire. And this is the biggest one. Work's been crazy lately. I always try to tell my female friends that this means he's not interested. And
Okay, sorry. Before he finishes, I want to add this little caveat to I'm not much of a texter. Here's the thing. Even if guys say that I'm not much of a texter, cool, that's fine, whatever, that's good. But let's add to that, if you're not much of a texter, there's still a way that you can build good relationships without being much of a texter, and that's by using it as a scheduling tool to actually figure out when are we going to see each other in real life. And you can be not much of a texter, but still be very good at organizing and planning a date or scheduling the next time you're going to see someone if you're serious. So never let men use that as an excuse to be unserious. That's just an excuse to basically lie about the fact they're not that interested in you.
And they never believe me. Oh my God, yeah, no, he's just so stressed being an AT&T in-store sales rep. However, He
Damn, he dissing them AT&T workers.
wasn't too stressed to put down a parlay last weekend and go out with his boys.
Video games and betting, sports betting makes zero sense to me. I'm a weirdo. I just don't get it. I don't get why save your own money to spend it on a parlay that may or may not hit. Why not invest it in something that will actually return you money guaranteed? Whatever. I'm just stupid. I'm an idiot. Whatever.
Hi, girls. Do you want to make your man do whatever you need him to do? The secret is in his hormone levels that changes throughout the day. That's right. Want him to move something or negotiate for a new car at a dealership? How about him fixing something? Just ask him for help between the hours of 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. That's right, 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. You see, it shouldn't be a surprise that when we guys wake up, we're bursting with testosterone. And besides being a little bit frisky, this hormone is making your man feel ambitious and determined. So this is the perfect time to ask him for a favor, particularly one that makes him feel like a Mr. Fix-It. Want him to move the furniture?
Didn't this guy host The Price is Right or something? He looks like he should be hosting The Price is Right, to be honest with you.
How about measuring the closet space or cleaning the garage? No problem. His high testosterone level will make him feel heroic, and you girls will reap the benefits. Now, if you want your man to agree to something, you need to mention this between 3 p.m. and 4 p.m. That's 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. because during that day, our testosterone levels are so low that we're mellow and agreeable to pretty much anything. Convince him about those.
My other advice to you, you take it or leave it. Maybe I don't know as much as The Price is Right guy, but after he eats, perfect time to ask him questions or things that you want him to do for you. Because after someone eats, that's when they're the most relaxed as well. Worst time to ask something of worst time to ask something for a guy, something that you need him to do is right when he finishes work and like the moment he steps into that is the worst time to ask him to do something for you, because that's when he's supposed to be decompressing and that's when he has the maximum amount of stress from his day that he's literally walking in to try and just relax now. That never ask anything of a man that you like or want something from at that time. Wait till he eats something first and is in relax mode. That's my advice to you.
Those new dancing lessons, or how about that new purse that you love to get that you saw in an ad? Between the hours of 3 p.m. and 4 p.m., you can ask for anything within reason and he won't start screaming or running the opposite way. Lastly, girls, do you want to have that cuddly time and pillow talk instead of boom boom? Well, between the hours of 8 p.m. and 10 p.m., your man is pumping out oxytocin. Yes, oxytocin, the cuddling hormone. Oxytocin creates in us guys a bond-inducing effect, and at this time, you could...
Is he reading a script? Sorry, you guys know, I'd be paying attention to the wrong things. Okay, you know what? It's not a bad thing, but I think he's reading a script.
The cuddling hormone. Oxytocin creates in us guys a bond-inducing effect, and at this time, you could tell him anything about how you feel. For example, that you felt hurt that he didn't call you today, or get a grievance off your chest like, will you please shave your beard for me? You will resolve any of your lingering spats with your man, and you'll probably get met with an apology and a promise to change. Now, girls, it's your job to send this video to all your fellow girls throughout the world. In fact, make it go viral so that no girl ever again has to be controlled by a man.
I feel like I'm a contestant on The Price is Right. I think he's reading a script, but it's okay. That doesn't make his information less valid. But let's kind of review a little bit.
Wake up. We're bursting with testosterone.
I think for the most part, what he did say was accurate in terms of some of the timings. Now, the 3 to 4 p.m. thing, asking something of him, I don't necessarily agree with that, because if he finishes work at that time and he's getting home at that time, that's like the worst time to ask something of him. I'd advise after his biggest meal of the day. So if it's his biggest meal is usually dinner for most people, that's the best time. Doesn't have to be right after, but you know that lull period where you're getting the itis, that's the best time to ask something other than a man with a full belly is a happy man. So that is the best time to get something from him. That and when, you know, like you're on top of him, you know, you get my gist, okay?
Or get a grievance off your chest like...
Anyways, enough of bar barker. Let's go on to our next video here.
Here are some early indications. If they have a negative attitude towards learning, curiosity, and higher education. This is especially true if you meet someone who tells you something like college is a scam, but they have a grandiose plan for becoming wealthy that involves some sort of current trend like cryptocurrency. That's usually a really bad sign of someone who does not understand what they're talking about, nor do they have the skills necessary in order to actually...
Wait, sorry, I'm just... What happened? He's talking about crypto... That a man is a bum? What? Okay.
Here are some early indications. If they have a negative attitude towards learning, curiosity, and higher education.
Okay, sorry. Now I'm getting
This
it.
is especially true if you meet someone who tells you something like college is a scam, but they have a grandiose plan for becoming wealthy that involves some sort of current trend like cryptocurrency. That's usually a really bad sign of someone who does not understand what they're talking about, nor do they have the skills necessary in order to actually execute those goals.
I.e. a plan. And a plan that actually can realistically happen. Now, when I say realistically, I don't mean realistic from the sense of, oh, is it possible for you to become a millionaire? I mean realistic from the sense of, if my plan is to build $1 million business, what is my first step? What are the logistics towards that? If the plan to build $1 million business is to win the lottery, boy, you ain't gonna get very far.
For instance, I knew someone who was failing in school, who was spending a lot of money every weekend drinking and doing bottle service at clubs, and then he told me that he was going to make money doing real estate. Well, he didn't understand that the idea that he had for real estate was...
Is he talking about a guy or is he talking about a girl? How many male bottle service men are there? Okay. But, you know, the next step from bottle service is real estate, for those of you who didn't know. Anyways.
Already being done by local companies in his area. It had been done for several years now. How on earth is he going to break into that market? How on earth does he have the assets in order to make that happen? When someone is curious or interested in learning, well, that shows that that is a person who is capable of adapting to the changes that will inevitably come with time. And that's someone you want to be around. You don't want to be around people who are not very curious because, well, things change. And when things change, you need to be ready to adapt to that. And if someone's not curious, they're less likely to be able to do that. Another thing to look at is how this person approaches their goals and the obstacles to those goals. If someone has a grand plan to, say, become a blockbuster movie star actor, and they want to go from step 1 to step 10, they are not going to be able to handle the pressure that comes from them going from step 1 to step 10. But if they understand that it is a gradual process of taking acting classes, doing self-tapes, gradually getting bigger and bigger roles until they can get to that point, and they're actively working on the steps to get to that goal, that's a great sign. But if someone is not willing to take step 2 because they want to immediately be at step 10, that's a really bad sign.
So let me break this down for you. For those of you guys who are like, what is this point of what he's saying here? What he's talking about is the difference in mind state of a man who is a bum versus a man who may have the skill set and the abilities to become that super successful man. He just might not necessarily be there monetarily at this moment. So he's describing to you the different ways that the bum men with the bum mind frame will approach life versus the way that the men who are successful or are going to be successful will be approaching life.
Someone's not willing to work in a food service job while they're in between jobs because they really want to have this high-paying six-figure job when they need the money to support themselves, that's a really bad sign. When there are obstacles and inconveniences, if that person is blaming other people and never taking it as a point of introspection, always assuming that it's something personally against them, that's a really bad sign. That is an indication that someone lacks emotional maturity. So understand this person's goals and then consider what do they spend their time on and what do they have too much of. Because if they're going to work towards a goal, well, they should be spending time on it. It doesn't.
So it's exactly, I like actually what he said here, because it's exactly why I tell you guys the secret trick to learning what a man's intentions are and how seriously he's going to take a relationship with you is learning how seriously he takes a relationship with himself and his own life. Because if he doesn't take his own life serious, he doesn't have real clear goals or plans for himself, he will never have clear goals or plans with you. So you're always wondering, what do these guys want? How is he going to be intentional? Does he really want to build something with me, or is he just lying? Don't bother yourself thinking about how you're going to ask him 35 different ways to get that answer from him. Just simply ask him how he goes about his own life. See if there's structure in his life. See if there's a plan there for the next 2 years, 3 years, 5 years. See if there are future goals. See if he's actually working towards those goals on a daily and weekly basis. Or if all of his goals are pipe dreams that he's never ever working towards a day in his life. If he's, oh boy, you're gonna make me rant. If he's sitting around watching music videos of NBA Youngboy, Lil Durk, Drake, and all these other rappers, and he's talking about how he's trying to get rich himself, and he's trying to buy a Louis Vuitton belt himself, and he's trying to get this and get that, but all you see him doing is going right back to playing the video games and smoking weed. That man ain't going to damn place, okay? He ain't going to damn place except the unemployment line, okay? Let's go to the next one.
If they are doing this to you, they are breadcrumbing you, and you need to run. Seriously, like, you actually have to run because this is fucked. When people breadcrumb you, what they are doing is they are giving you like little pieces just to keep you there. They have no intention of dating you. They have no want to date you or be with you, but they are keeping you there until they find someone else so that they have something entertaining. What this can look like is making plans but cancelling them. So they make you believe that they are interested, but then they always pull out because they're not interested. But they want to tease you, but they want to like entertain you enough to keep you there so that you don't find anyone else. They don't want to be with you, but they don't want you to be with anybody else. This can also look like them falling off the face of the fucking earth. Not the vape. They can fall off the face of the fucking earth, right? They've thrown their phone over the Pacific Ocean, and then 3 days later they text you, hey, beautiful, how you going?
It's also a function of control, meaning they're going to want to check in periodically. How much control do I still have over you and your emotions? Is my D game so amazing that I can not speak to you for weeks, come back into your life and act like nothing happened, and you'll just be okay with it because I'm that so amazing, right? If I can recognize that I still have that control, it's not even necessary for me to actually sleep with you, because recognizing that control already does for my ego what I needed it to do. Sleeping with you at this point is pointless. I just want to recognize my control to wank myself off to how amazing I am.
And then you're like, wait, he is interested in me. And then he goes to you again, and then he comes back, and then he goes to you, and then he comes back. But people that do this have no intention of dating you. They have absolutely no intention of being with you. They just want you there to keep them entertained, to keep them doing something. If a guy wants to be with you, he will be with you, and it is that simple. If he's leading you on, if he's breadcrumbing you, if he's painting this picture in your head of what you guys could be, but he's just not looking for a relationship right now. No one is not looking for a relationship right now. If the right person comes along, of course they'll date them. But seriously, if this person is...
Yes and no. Sometimes, for men at least, they're in a situation where they need to be focusing on things other than relationships. I'll say that. But those men shouldn't even be dating in the first place.
Addictive. Once a woman starts chasing, it's very difficult to wean her off of chasing. Once you lose your sense of self-respect, dignity, self-love, it's very, very difficult to wean you off of chasing. You see, this is something the Holy Spirit gave me, and then I promise I'll get on to my points. You must locate love within yourself before you may recognize authentic love for you in anyone else. So when you jump the gun and you begin to run out here, and I have gotten ahead of myself, point number one, the aftermath of a woman chasing a man. The worst thing that can happen for or to a woman that chases a man is that she catches him.
I was just going to say that.
Number one, the pursuer is made emotionally vulnerable to the pursued.
So I'm going to kind of summarize where I think he's going here in this point, because I actually think it's a very important point to mention. I don't think we talked about this before. If you chase a guy and you end up in the process of chasing him to try to get him to love you and notice you, you get him. Understand, you've now set the precedent and the foundation for what your relationship is going to have to be in order to maintain it. So some of you that think, well, Tomisin, I don't want to listen to your advice because the guy that I like isn't showing me what I need from him. And I need to text him and remind him of my existence so that he'll continue texting me. I need to tell him how I want to go out on a date and organize the date so that we'll go out on this date, because if I don't, nothing will happen. Well, then what happens is, even if you get the date, you say, ha ha, Tomisin, you were so wrong. You're an idiot. You have no idea what you're talking about. And you go out on that date with that guy. But what ends up happening is 2, 3, 4 months down the line, in order to continue going on dates, what do you have to do? Continue to ask him out, continue to be the one texting him, continue to be the one reaching out. And then at a certain point you say, okay, well, I did it for the first couple of weeks and that was fine. But now I literally have invested a year of my life into a guy that will never text me first. And then you come to me and you're saying, Tomisin, how can I undo everything I've done wrong for the past year? And I'm going to be very, very honest and harsh with you, because that's going to be a very tough process. And you might have to cut loose someone who you invested a year of your life in. So the reason I say that is don't start off on that path of chasing the guy to get him, thinking that you're going to end up with a better guy in the end. It's just not going to happen. All right.
What if I told you that you could flip the script and make him chase you?
Every time I see Sarah Lauren on the show, I realize that she lives in Toronto as well. And we should definitely collab. Like, we should do a show together because she lives in Toronto, my city. And she talks about relationships. So we should definitely do a collab together.
It's possible and it's easy. We gotta be a little unavailable. We gotta be very strategic with our social media. We gotta be very cryptic in some of our comments that we make. And last but not least, we have to give them a little taste. Very quickly, very, very quickly, pull back. In every single step of this process, you have to be confident, okay? You cannot second guess yourself. You have to be fully committed to this plan or else it will not work, I promise you. Now, number one, when being unavailable, you have to be unavailable, but not tell him why, okay? If he asks you to hang out one night, you have to say, oh, I would love to, but I'm just so swamped this week. He doesn't know what you're swamped with. You could be swamped with work. You could be swamped with friends. You could be swamped with other boys. You could be swamped with family issues. Anything.
The one thing, too, I'll say, sorry, I was to pause her. The one thing I'll say about being cryptic is don't forget, like, you don't owe people an explanation of everything you're doing at every point and time in the day. I know it starts to feel, if you're used to just like blabbering out everything that you're doing to people, it can kind of feel like you're being sneaky when you don't tell the whole story all the way to someone. But I promise you, it makes you more interesting to people when they have to lean in to understand you better. And if you can get into the habit of doing that, you'll be a more interesting, magnetic person in general. Okay. On top of that, everyone doesn't need to know all of your business, every which way and every detail. Okay. Leave some things left to the imagination so that they can wonder what it is you are doing. Okay.
Thing that he doesn't know, he has to wonder. Number two, when being strategic on social media, you have to be present. Okay. He needs to think of you. People think of you when you are in their face or when you're totally not at all, and it takes them months to think about you. So we are going for the route of being in their face. Okay, we are posting maybe a selfie or a story with people's arms in it that he doesn't know who they are and he has to think about it. Okay, let him think.
This is good, but what I'll preface that with is I know some of you aren't posters. If you're not a big poster and you start posting a lot, especially if he's been following you enough to know the difference between your regular post schedule. I know this sounds really weird. It's 2024. Your regular post schedule versus how you've been posting since you guys stopped talking or since you wanted to get him to chase you. It's going to be obvious that you're doing this because you're trying to get some sort of reaction. So the very important caveat to the posting thing is the pace and frequency should be similar to your regular frequency. If you never post at all, you don't want to be magically posting every 8 stories a day. That's going to be very suspicious. You want to kind of ease it in there and make it seem like it's just natural for you in a way that doesn't make it look like you're trying to do something that way. So that's the posting frequency is something you have to consider when you're considering, getting a guy to chase you in this scenario.
Comments. Now these comments have to be something that you like about their species. So men, in my example, it has to be the fact that maybe it could be something you love about them or something that you love that men do or something you find so sexy about men, and they will have that sitting in their head and they will try to achieve it. Like, oh, I just love when men just take the lead and like plan something, and then they'll think about it. You can't be like, oh, why haven't you planned something? No. Say what you want and watch them do it. It doesn't come off as.
So actually, we should talk about this one day. That is what she just described, is a strategic way to do what men try to do when they want to impress you, to make you feel like they're your man, but in a way that kind of serves you. Now, this is something you want to use very strategically. And depending on where you're at in the relationship, this may either work for you or this might not be what you need. Because what she's talking about is making a guy feel like, oh, if I want more of this from him, I tell him indirectly that I love guys who do this, but I'm strategically telling him that I love guys who take this particular action that I want in my relationship. Now, this might not work for you if you're still in the stage of trying to gauge if he has interest in you or if he's serious with you, because then you're going to be confusing your own self, right?
Needy and like you need it. It comes off as you know what you want and you're not asking for it, because if you don't get it from him, you'll get it from somebody else. Now, last but not least, to give him a taste, then pull back. Now, this is the most important one, okay? We need to show him what he's missing. We need to show him a flirty conversation. We need to show him effort. We need to show him that you were there one day and then the next day you're not answering him, okay? For the full day, until the next day comes around and you're saying, oh my gosh, so sorry, I was so busy. Or totally forgot to answer your text, I was so busy. Something that gives an excuse and shows that you're still there, and you pop back in, but you need to pop out for a second. Watch.
I would say the perfect honest way to do this without having to play a game is to just, focus on the in-person hangouts. When you're not in person, don't be such a heavy texter. That's the easiest way to do it without having to be toxic, manipulative, however you want to describe it, because then you're just living your life when you're not together, which is fine. You don't have to be consumed with him when you guys aren't in the same room together.
A man that requires you to chase him is not a man that's actually interested in you. I'm going to be honest with you. First of all, even as a man, I'm not chasing nobody nor requiring somebody to chase me. I am looking for a lifetime of love. I ain't got time to play cat and mouse, no chase game. I will pursue in a healthy way. I will court in a healthy way, but I ain't chasing, because chasing means you running away. Chasing means you don't want to be caught. Chasing means you want me to jump through these hoops and I'm not doing.
Do I be yelling like that, chat? I feel like maybe I don't be yelling, but I am passionate. Do I be yelling like this?
If my energy ain't reciprocated, then we ain't dating. A ready man ain't trying to have no woman chase him, man. A woman I truly want, I would never allow her to disrespect herself by allowing her to chase me. If I really cared about you the way you thought I cared about you, I would never allow you to take your crown off and put on your sprinting shoes just to race toward my heart, knowing I didn't want this from you. A man has to have some halfway decency. A man that requires you to chase him is not a man that's actually you. I would never allow you to take your crown, even allowing her to chase me. If I really cared about you the way you thought I cared about you, I would never allow you to take your crown off and put on your sprinting shoes.
Okay. Anyways, I like this though, in the sense of, obviously when we talk about chasing and pursuing, there can be a little bit of a confusion there, because when some people hear pursuit, they think, he's actually going after me. But then when some people hear chase, some of them think pursuit, and then some of them think, oh, he's desperate. I don't necessarily think that men should be desperate for you. I do think, the best position of power for you is to have men crawling on glass for you, wanting to sniff your butthole. But I understand that for most of you, you're not going to be very attracted to the men who want to crawl on glass and sniff your butthole unless you're into that. You want a masculine man. So the kind of thing, the balance there is that he pursues you in a way that feels natural, that still makes him masculine without him looking like he's worshiping you and that you're showing him absolutely no interest, okay? But I know for some of you, it's been the reverse, which is why we kind of want to pull you directly out of the what's the word I'm looking for? The quicksand that you're in. All right. Let's hop into our next segment. Okay. Right. Our next segment is a very, very special segment. We're going to have lots and lots of fun in this segment. If you know what's coming, please spam it up in our chat. If you're an OG Players Club member and you know where we're about to go with this, because it's a special time, it's an amazing time, and it's a time where you're going to laugh and cry Don't look at your clock. Don't look at your watch. Don't look at your phone. Don't look nowhere else in your home. If you don't know the time, I'm going to tell you the time. Discord time. Yeah. Okay, chat. Enough silliness for the day. We got it all out. Now let's hop into our Discord section of the show where all of our amazing members get an opportunity to ask me a question about their relationship or situationship, and I answer it live on the show. Now, let me give you the 3 ways you can send in your question to our Discord time. All right. The first way is through our free section in our Players Club Discord. You can access that through the link in my bio on TikTok or the link in my description on YouTube. All right. Now, this free section, obviously, you see these highlighted questions. I haven't gotten to them yet because it's the first come, first serve section. So I have a few other questions that I have to get to. Some I missed some. And I have to go to those ones before I can get to yours if you drop in your question today. Now, if you don't want to wait like a week for me to get to your question, but if you drop it in a day, you can also drop in your question in our premium relationship advice forum. Now, the way you access that forum, the way you're supposed to do it properly, is by going to the link in my bio on TikTok or the link in my description. Then you click premium Discord relationship advice. That you have to donate to the show. And then when you're donating to the show, it's going to prompt you to put in the title of your username and the title of your question. And when you do that, it's going to then send in your question and give me a notification. Show me that that's you and that's your question. And then you get to put your question in here and skip the line because I read the premium questions before I go into our free relationship forum there. Now, if you're someone who wants to get my opinion on your situation, your relationship, and you want my advice, but you don't want it to be live on the show, you also have the option to send me in private relationship advice. That link is also in my TikTok bio and link in my description. Click where it says private relationship advice, and then you can send me a direct question. You type it out as much as you want. I respond to you via voice message, and I send it to your email, okay? No one else sees it except for me. That's if you want your question to be private and not read out on the show, all right? So let's hop into our free section here, and we'll go on our first couple of questions. I see a beautiful one posted and deleted. What is this? Can a woman BDSM king change how men? What? Okay. Anyways, those were deleted, so we got to move on. Let's go to our first question of the day here. Okay. So we'll start off with Violet. Violet says, I cannot relive through another situationship fail. 20, female, and this man is 20. Okay. That's probably part of your problem, but let's go on. This guy I met recently likes me, and obviously I've been making him chase, but I have a concern because he is friends, not close friends, with a guy I was in a situationship with for 4 months. How? As of now, the new guy doesn't know that. Okay, that's okay. I know his friend, even though I know that he knows him. Okay, this old guy didn't treat me good after we stopped talking. He started talking to a bunch of girls randomly after we stopped talking, told everyone I couldn't keep up with his intelligence, cheated on his new girlfriend. Wait, what? What do you mean cheated on his new girlfriend? Cheated on his new girlfriend with you? What are you saying? The whole situation kind of took a toll on me just because he used to be the complete opposite. Example, said he liked me because I was smart and didn't speak to girls. Wait, what? What? He said you were smart because you did what? Okay. Also, I'm a virgin, and even though I hang out lots with the old guy, you hung out lots with the old guy, we just kissed and stuff. What do you mean and stuff? What do you mean? I told him I'm probs not going to have pineapples until a year or so, but he kept trying. I put myself in many bad situations where I slept over at his house every week for months, but the most I did was use my hands and he rubbed his hands over my pants. Thank you for the detail. The main thing which stopped me is pineapples is probably painful. Okay. I'm just worried that the old guy might say something bad about me and maybe sabotage this. To be honest, there's nothing bad to say. I just used to act nice towards the old guy and people please. We didn't say goodbye or anything. I just asked him to be my boyfriend. Wait. What do you mean? We didn't say goodbye or anything. I just asked him to be my boyfriend. What do you mean? What do you mean by that? Where they do that at? You asking the man to be your boy? Oh my God. Okay. I'm gonna try and hold it together here. And he says, who knows what the future had. His response to you asking him to be your boyfriend is who knows what the future holds. Yeah. Even though I've avoided him since then, I got the vibes he's salty at me for no reason, even though I should be. Okay. I kind of want to mention it to this guy in case they see each other again and he finds out about this through him and makes up something negative. Maybe I'm overthinking, but I don't know how to frame this to him so I don't look bad. My other concern is before we started talking, I overheard the new guy say he probs has pineapples with girls. Wait, what? Why would the new guy be saying this? Because he doesn't want to use girls for... Wait, what? Sorry. I misread this. He said he probably pays for pineapples with girls because he doesn't want to use girls for pineapples. Wait, what? How is that? That's literally using them for pineapples if he's paying them for it. Okay. For me, I don't want to have pineapples until I'm completely sure that this is the man I will stay with. So I'm contemplating waiting until I get married. That's perfectly fine. I would encourage you to do that. I'm not sure how he will react if I tell him something that, considering his pineapple drive, seems super high. Also, am I a bad friend because the guy's friends, wait, what? My guy friends, wait, what? I start talking to. Are you saying that your guy friends are friends with this guy and that? Okay. Usually I reject them. But both of these guys, I know them through her. Wait, what? And now she doesn't speak to that other guy, but I don't want to ruin their friendship, another friendship for her. What? Okay. That was a little bit confusing there at the end. But in the situation that you're in, Violet, whenever you're in a conundrum where you're worried about information that a guy could find out that may sway or change his opinion on you, the most important thing that you have to do is take control of the narrative. Narratives are so important even in relationships. If you don't control the narrative, it will control you. It will control your perception, and it will subsequently control how he chooses to treat you. So what do you do in this situation? What you need to do is you need to come ahead of this situation, and you need to explain to this guy that you're seeing the new guy, i.e., and let him know what has transpired with the last guy. But you're going to frame it in a way where you say, after I realized this guy was unserious, and it became obvious to me he wasn't where I needed a guy to be in a relationship, I moved on with my life, and now I'm here exploring relationships for what I actually want and desire, okay? The person I am now and I've transformed to be, I would never deal with the guy the way that, I was dealing with him or things were happening in that relationship with him, okay? So all in all, what you're doing is you want to control the narrative, but then when you control the narrative, you want to frame it in a way where you're saying, I am aware that guy is not what I'm looking for. I know that to be true, which is exactly why we're not talking now, okay? You don't have to go into a whole lot of details about what transpired. He cheated on this girl. I asked him to be my boyfriend and stuff like that. I'm not saying lie to him, but what I am saying is you don't want the narrative that you paint of yourself to be in a way where you make it seem like I was on the floor desperate for this guy, licking the bottom of his boots just to try and get him to pay attention to me, because that's not going to bode well for his value value that he sees in you. Now, you're a virgin, so that's good. Just keep that going. What I would advise you to do, honestly, if I was in your situation, you were my little sister, I would advise you to definitely not sleep with this guy. Like, if you're a virgin at 20 years old, right, and you're well on your way to feeling like you can do this all the way up until marriage, I wouldn't advise you to even consider sleeping with anyone who's not your boyfriend, right? Like legit your boyfriend at the very, 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 very least, because you might as well just keep that going, because as time goes on, it will only make it easier to filter out unserious guys, and you'll start to attract more and more guys who have to be serious as a function of the lifestyle that you live. Because if you're waiting until marriage, only ultra serious guys will be even willing to invest any of their time and energy into you, because they know at that point, if no other guy has been able to get you to break, it's very unlikely that they'll get you to break, right? And guys are smart enough to know that, which is why they won't waste their time with a virgin if they know that that girl is unlikely to break or fold. So just keep that going is what I'm trying to say. Now you're going to switch the narrative. You're going to take control of the narrative, and you're going to frame it in a way where I know what I need and I want, and I know it's not that guy. Okay. That's how you want to frame it. So your value stays high instead of it making it seem like you're a piece of trash that got tossed to the side by the old guy. Okay. Let's go on to where the heck did it go? Let's go on to our next question here. Okay, our next question comes from RPH. Insightful understanding, okay? Let's open it up here. RPH says, hello, Thompson. I have come to understand that a man can love a woman without having pineapples with her. And a man can also have pineapples with a woman he does not love. Oh, you're smart. Okay. For many men, pineapples can be about pleasure, novelty, validation, the experience, or exploring different partners. You have been paying attention, not just to me, but to other people. It does not always involve deeper feelings or emotional connections. Very true. However, when a man truly loves a woman and is not dependent on physical intimacy, it becomes evident through his actions. He tells her he loves her, spends quality time with her, and shows her his care goes beyond the physical. 100% true. His love is demonstrated through support, respect, trust, commitment, emotional presence, and a vision for the future. I feel like if someone were to ask ChatGPT, what is the summary of my channel? This is what ChatGPT would spit out, okay? I'm not saying you did that. You're like ChatGPT, but the human version, okay? So you're understanding exactly what I discuss on this channel, and I'm sure you've learned from not just me, from other people as well. I won't take all the credit for that, but you're absorbing a lot of what I preach on this channel. And I think absorbing that makes you so much more knowledgeable in the dating world, so much more capable of deciphering and decoding information when it comes to men, and then making really good decisions with that information, which is exactly what I want for you. You're a smart cookie, okay? Let's go to our next one. Our next question comes from, this is just a rose here. Should I go on a second date a few days after the first just because he is traveling? Oh, interesting. Okay, let's see what you have to say here. Hey guys, I want advice. So I went on a first date with this guy who lives near me a few days ago. He messages the next day and says he wants to meet me and ask when we can meet. Wait, what? Sorry, when can we meet? And then I say in a few days. The next day he messages that he will be going on a Europe trip for 2 to 3 weeks and we'll be going on Monday. And if we can meet today or tomorrow, should I still go? Okay, so you've already went on one date with him. Here's the thing. My thing with dates is dates are good, but you never want guys to get into the habit of feeling like they can order you to their house like DoorDash. Okay. And honestly, you sent this message in November 29th. So obviously you had to make a decision, right? It was the next day or the day after. So you already made your decision. But in retrospect, my advice to you guys always is that if a guy really cares about you enough, even if he wants to see you today or the next day, If you say, no, I'm not busy, that shouldn't affect his ability to continue to want to see you. And if it does, then you are sniffing out someone who is just trying to quickly run through the process of dating you quick, that you can feel some nice closeness in the relationship and then sleep with you quick, okay? The reason I say that is because you don't want to be in a position where you feel rushed, right? Not physically, not emotionally, not mentally. You want to be in a position where you're able to pace yourself and evaluate information as you're receiving more and more information. And when guys start to get into the habit of feeling like they can order you to their house like DoorDash, one, it sets a bad precedent for the rest of the relationship. And then number two, it starts to become very difficult to be able to gauge what am I receiving from this guy. Because when you're seeing a guy every single day, or you start sleeping over at his house for 3, 4, 5 days in a row, so because you're feeling like, oh my God, we're getting along so good from the very beginning, it starts to become very difficult to decipher the information that you're feeling and receiving every single time you see him. Because in between those times where you should be taking in what's going on, you're just spending more time with him. So you're never getting a chance to actually analyze anything. And the reason I say that is because that can be on a fast train towards that if you start building this reputation for being available to him today or tomorrow type of thing, where he doesn't have to say, okay, if I want to come see you and spend time with you, then I schedule this time with you in advance. If he's going on a trip for 2 to 3 weeks, he'll go on his trip, and then when he comes back, you'll be in his town or his city, and he'll be able to go on a date with you then. Don't rush. Don't let yourself get rushed in dates. Even though he wants to see you, don't forget, if he really wants to see you that bad, if that is really that true, why would that change when he comes back from his Europe trip? Is something happening on his Europe trip that would affect his ability to still like you? Is he going to meet his girlfriend or his wife in Europe? Why would the Europe trip affect his ability to want to date you after the Europe trip? And if that's not the case, right, if he's not meeting his wife in Europe, then when he comes back, he can ask you out on a date. Don't forget, guys being eager or wanting to see you more or talk to you more is actually a good thing for you. And you don't need to ease guys' anxiety that want to see you or talk to you more, right? In fact, you would be better served encouraging that, because that's when you'll get a really intentional man in a relationship, okay? Let's go on to our next question here. Okay. We'll say L. Okay, we'll just call you L. L says, need advice, please. Hi, Tomisin. Discovered you recently. I am 25. I've been dating a guy who is 26 for a month. We met at a techno rave. Yeah. Okay. At the end of October. At the end of the rave, we took the subway back together. Were you on anything? Okay. You went to the rave sober. You came back sober. Tell the truth. Okay. Went for a walk. And wait. After the rave, aren't you in like your rave fit? You went for a walk in the rave fit? Okay. And he came to mind. Wait. He came to your house after the rave? You met him at the rave. What's going on? And he came to mind, had sex, I don't understand. Okay. Let me try and. Okay. Look. You are me. There's so many. I don't even know where to start. You're meeting a guy at a rave, and you're high off all types of drugs. You're on Molly. You're on everything. Okay. You're in your rave fit. You got sparkles everywhere. Sparkles in your armpits. Sparkles in your butt crack. You come back from the rave, your ears are blasting, okay? They're ringing still from all the music. You met this guy how many minutes ago? He still got sparkles on his eyeballs. And you don't even know his last name. You probably don't even know his real name, because the music was so loud when he introduced himself, you didn't actually hear his name. You're on the train. Okay. You need to put in the chat what he said to you. 2 things you're going to need to put in our general chat today. You're gonna have to put in our general chat what he said to you, okay, on this magical train ride. Because you went on some type of damn magical train ride you went on with this man. You need to put in the chat what he said to you on this magical train ride that you guys took. And then you also need to put in what drugs exactly. Tell me exactly. Tell me the dosage of the drugs that you took that you were on when you went to this rave. Because we all need to understand exactly what must be avoided by everyone else so that we never fall victim to this situation ourselves. Exactly what drugs and exactly the dosage that you took. Okay? I'm very serious about this because this should never be happening. You met this guy at a techno rave. Great. I'm glad you're having fun and enjoying yourself. You don't invite. Okay. Wow. You don't invite a guy you met. Where are his friends? Where are your friends? Are you going? Okay. We just started the question. I need to relax. You should never be allowing someone who you just met at a rave back to your house. And definitely not, let alone sleeping with them. It's not safe. You don't know that person. You don't know him. Okay? You don't know anything about him. And do your friends even know where you are or who you're with? Right? I know we don't all have like girlfriends that we tell everything to, but it's just unsafe for you to just be going about life and you're inviting someone random over to your place. Like, does anyone know who the last person you were with is or who you are with currently? That if something were to happen to you, they would even know who to go to or who you were with at that time. It's just a very unsafe way to go about life as a woman. I'm just going to be honest with you. Right? Like you have to have your support system of people that know what's going on in your life, know your whereabouts, because hey, there's some evil people in this world. I'll just be for real with you. You can't be living life like that. I know, we all want to have fun and stuff like that, but that's not no safe way to live life. I'll be honest with you. First time that I do it with someone I don't know, but I felt really safe. How'd you feel safe? Because you were high off Molly? That's not safety. Okay. Right? How'd you feel safe? Because there's sparkles in your butt crack? That's not safety, okay? I'm just being real with you here because that's a false sense of intimacy. You don't know that person. That could be anyone, okay? That could literally be the second coming of Ted Bundy. You really don't know that person. Nothing wrong with meeting someone at a rave and enjoying your company with them. But if we are having such a good time, let's see each other another day where we're not high off so many drugs that we can't even feel our heartbeat and, having our ears still ringing from the music. After sleeping at, oh my God. We haven't even gotten halfway through the message. He slept at your place as well. After, oh my God. Whatever. He went back to his place. And we went on our first date to get something to eat. I'm surprised you even made it that far, to be honest. He asked his roommate if he could bring me home. What? Who's his roommate? His mother? Why is he asking his roommate if he can bring you home? I don't understand. Why is he asking his roommate if he can bring you home? And we went to his apartment with his roommate's permission. Okay. We watched Spirited Away. I've never watched that movie. It sounds like it's probably terrible. Tell me in the chat, is this a good movie, Spirited Away, or not? Together, because I told him that it was one of my favorite movies. I only slept with him. What? What do you mean I only slept with him? And in the morning, we also had, you only actually slept next to him is what you mean. And in the morning, we also had, So you slept, what do you mean I only slept with him? So you slept with him at night, then you slept with him in the morning. I tell you. Next week, he suggested going out for a drink. We chatted and going to a cinema. So a passive experience, which is exactly what I advise you guys not to do, because what do passive experiences lead to? It leads to hand on the thigh, hand in the pants, you jerking him off, him feeling you up, and then what are you going to do after you finish that movie? You're going to go sleep together or him jackrabbit himself inside of you in the back of his car. Okay? Let's just be for real. Or if the movie's empty, he might be bold enough to whip it out in the movie theater. Passive experiences aren't good for the first few dates. After that, he came to my place. We had pineapples. What did I literally just, I haven't read this ahead of time, you know? What did I literally just say? A passive experience is like a gateway drug to just sleeping together. Because what do they do during the whole passive experience? They just feel you up, right? Because it's a perfect excuse to feel you up. Because you're not paying attention to anything, doesn't require conversation. He can just look at the screen and feel you up. And then what do you have happen after? You sleep together. We also had vulnerable conversations about what? When you jackrabbited yourself inside of me for 90 seconds, I felt like I was in this distant place I've never been to before. It changed my life. That type of conversation. But he didn't sleep over because he wasn't working at the time. What do you mean? What do you mean? And I had to get up early. So you're telling me he had no job? All right, let me stand up here because I don't want to freak out. I'm not gonna freak out. I won't do it. I won't do it. I'm gonna be relaxed. I'm gonna be relaxed. Okay. I'm gonna settle my emotions. I'm gonna stretch. I'm gonna just realign my chakras. Gonna stretch my back and stuff. I just What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean he had no job? What do you mean though? Tell me what you mean by he had no job. What do you mean? Because when you say he had no job, it makes me feel like he's broke and he's wasting your time. What do you mean? Except the fact he didn't sleep with me, the date was really awesome. I'm not gonna say anything. Okay. Week after he found a job, I was the one who suggested the date. Are you trying to make me mad? Why would you? One, you're building him up. I can't keep doing this. Let's keep reading. We had something to eat and chatted, then went to play pool. Like what, at a place you suggested? You're literally carrying this whole relationship. He got a little frustrated because it was only his second time playing, so the date felt a bit silent. Because you guys have nothing in common except sleeping together. However, I appreciated that he stepped out of his comfort zone, wanted to tell him something on the next date. Or tell him that, I think he meant say on the next day. After, we went back to my place and had pineapples. You're enjoying putting me in pain. I think you're enjoying this. But it felt like we were pretending the pool situation didn't happen. So the mood was a bit weird. He slept over and went to his parents' place on Sunday afternoon and the following week. He texted me the day after to check in. It's now been 2 weeks since we last saw each other after that weird date. The first weekend he was with his parents, and the second weekend he traveled to visit his brother and family. Excuse me. Yesterday, Friday morning, I told him that I liked it when he took the initiative. You're the one that suggested the date. Like with the cinema date. Oh yeah, suggesting you guys sit in front of a screen and watch it while he fills up your dump truck and he feels in between your legs and how warm it is. That's wow, what a creative man. Hoping he would make a move to see me this weekend. Make a move to see you or make a move to see what's inside your pants. He replied, like all women. That's what his response was. And he said he would have liked to see me, but was traveling to his brother's place on Saturday. So he suggested meeting up in the evening. I declined, pretending I was going out with my friends, and suggested organizing something for next week. During these 2 weeks of texting, which feels so long to be honest, we've had interesting conversation. If you say anything about sexting, I'm going to lose my mind. Don't tell me you had an interesting conversation, then start talking about sexting. But his last texts have been very sex-oriented. Don't you see that all men are the exact same? Don't you see it? They're all the same. I don't say this to demoralize. Oh, boy, my brain hurts. I'm going to have to drink some tea after this. I don't say these things to disappoint you, scare you, or make you feel like love isn't out there for you. I actually say these things to help better center you and ground you, that when you meet guys, don't ever become mesmerized with the chit chat that they'll tell you about how they're different, because most of them aren't. And when you start, this is why Discord time, while it's very painful for me, it's good for you to realize that the same things you go through with these men is the same things other women go through with those men. And they don't know each other. So that tells you that it's not just some random occurrence with you and your situation that you can justify. It's really actually a game that men understand how to play. He also doesn't ask as many questions as I do. I wonder why. Because he's not curious. When I told him, sorry, I'm going out with my friends, but we can organize something for next week, he replied, okay, let's organize something for next week and have a good time with your friends. I felt that he could have asked to plan something right away to make sure we see each other next week. You're 100% right. And you're not stupid. Like, you're intelligent enough to know he's showing me signs of a lack of interest and a lack of intentionality. Yet you continue to try to force this relationship to happen because you don't want to realize the truth, which you already kind of know. Should I just wait to see if he proposes something for next week? Should I text him and say, I can't keep texting because I'm looking to build a deep connection? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Which can only happen by seeing each other. Should I give him one last chance to see if he's really interested? He seems more interested when we're in person. Okay. Update, on Friday, he sent me messages and waited until Sunday to tell him they lack subtlety and tact, which bothered me. I explained that I like it when he takes the lead, and his lack of gentleness made me uneasy. I clarified that I was disappointed by the stereotype he mentioned about women. I wanted him to understand that I like it when he takes initiative, right? Just basically what that means is he doesn't care. Right? That's why he responded like that. And he probably feels the same when I take the lead too. What? You think he wants you? Well, I guess we could say he does want you to take initiative, but not because he appreciates it for you taking the lead. It's because he realizes he doesn't have to do a damn thing when you take the lead. That's why. And he can use you if you continue taking the lead. That's why. I expressed my frustration that we haven't seen each other for 2 weeks. Unnecessary thing to say. Not because your expression is invalid, but because he's not going to do anything different. You expressing how you're frustrated with not seeing him for 2 weeks only makes him recognize how much power he has over you, that you become bent out of shape by not seeing him. And that you have nothing going on in your life, that if you don't see him for 2 weeks, your life is very boring and uninteresting, which is why you're so frustrated. Right? You're giving him so much power there, aside from already sleeping with him. And told him face-to-face contact is important for me, even if it's just to talk for 1 to 2 hours. He acknowledged that he hadn't been very subtle and appreciated my honesty. They'll say they appreciate it, but they appreciate it not because they're more attracted to you. They appreciate it because it makes it easy for them to read what you want and need and are thinking. And so they know I don't have to put in that much effort because I know exactly what she's thinking and that she wants me. He said that he wants to see me, but he needs personal space. Wow. Wow. Okay. He explained his absence last weekend was due to logistics. Finally, he asked if I had plans from Friday to Sunday, showing interest in seeing me. Okay, this is all you need. All we need from this entire message is this here. The note that we ended on is him saying he needs his personal space. So what you literally need to do, you need to refer to yesterday's show when we talked about dealing with an avoidant man, because this applies perfectly to your specific situation. If an avoidant man or just a man in general asks you for space, you're going to give him more than enough space. In fact, you're going to give him so much space, he thinks he's in a different universe than you. He thinks he's in a different galaxy than you. He thinks he's in not even the Milky Way, okay? Right? Just absolutely different place from you. You're living in different time zones. They're nothing even similar to each other. The reason I say that is because if a guy asks you for space, anything you say or do to try to get him to not give that level of space in the relationship will make it seem as if you're smothering him. And if you attempt to smother a man who is asking you for space, he'll resent you and he'll only pull further away from you. So your best bet whenever a guy asks for space is to say, okay, thank you for letting me know. And you give him exactly the space that he was asking for. You don't speak to him. You don't text him. You don't message him. You don't call him. You don't do nothing with him. You don't even watch his stories. Give him all the personal space he needs until he's coming back to you and begging you to not give him as much space as he asked for. Then when you come back, you can say, oh, I thought you wanted space. Then he can say, but I didn't want that much space. Well, I gave you what you asked for. Okay. That's what you want to be doing. Now, in your specific situation, I don't give a damn whether he asked you to hang out from Friday to Sunday or Sunday to the next Sunday. I don't care if he asked you to sleep over for 10 years. You are not going to say or do anything until he actually goes through the process of saying, hey, I want to see you and I want to plan a day with you to go here and do this on this day at this time. If he's not doing that, you don't talk to him, you don't speak to him, you don't interact with him, you don't do nothing with him. If he's not texting you, you don't text him. If he's not calling you, you don't call him. If he's not reaching out to you and planning a date, you don't go out on dates and you don't suggest dates. What I want you to do here, Elle, is to flip the entire script and stop taking initiative with anything. I'm not saying that because I want you to be, well, I do want you to be mean. But what I want you to start doing is recognizing how much interest does he actually have. Because what I think is starting to happen is you're building this relationship off of kind of chasing him and pursuing him a little bit, and the little bit the pursuit that you have of him is what's actually allowing this relationship to go on. But because you're pursuing him and you're seeing some results from that, you think that you're actually building a relationship, when in reality, the only reason there's a relationship is because of your pursuit. So you need to stop pursuing so that you can get a chance to see if there's no pursuit on my side as a woman, which there shouldn't be, then is there still a relationship? And if there's not, then you know what his level of interest really was. Because a lot of guys will recognize that you're willing to pursue them. They'll say, okay. And they'll say, this is a perfect type of woman for me to waste my time with. Because if I waste my time with, if I know that she wants to pursue me and she wants this really badly, I can continue to just pretend like I want this just enough that she'll continue to invest. And if she continues to invest, I'll give nothing while receiving a lot. Okay? We don't want that for you. You're going to stop texting, calling, all of that good stuff. And he's only going to get to see you when he does and puts in that effort. If he has a problem with that, then he has a problem with being a man, and being a man showing intention. If he has a problem with being a man who shows intention, then you don't worry yourself with seeing or spending time with those men. Very simple. You're in the business of being with a big dog who's intentional, knows what he wants, and knows that he wants you. You're not in the business of being with a soy boy, a shy boy who's like, oh, but I want to know that you like me too. I'm so scared of rejection. I need you to chase me. I need you to ask me out on dates. I need you to cut my food for me. I need you to feed it to me. I need you to chew my food for me. I'm just a little soy boy. I don't know how to do anything, and I'm so scared to do everything. And I'm so scared of women. I'm so scared of relationships. I don't know how to do anything. Can you do it all for me? Can you be the man? Actually, can you put on your best work pants and can you be the man for me? Wear your work boots too, because I don't know how to be a man. Can you show it to me? Can you teach it to me on the board? Like, okay, stop. Right? We're not doing that. We're not doing that. All right, chat. That's the show for today. I don't have any more capacity to do any more questions. Thank you to Elle. If you have any questions for me and you want answered, you can either drop them into our free relationship advice forum or our premium relationship advice forum, whichever one you want to do, depending on if you want to skip the line or not. The link is in my bio on TikTok or the link in my description on YouTube. You can also send in your private relationship question to me that way as well. For those of you who are trying to rewatch the show because you want to miss some of the points and you thought some things were interesting that you didn't get a chance to see, all of the points in the show and the entire show is available on my YouTube page. page. For those of you on TikTok, go to my YouTube page, type in my name, Tomisin Atobatele. You can just type in my first name, Tomisin. My YouTube page will pop up. You go to it, and then you can go to the live section. You're going to be able to rewatch this entire live stream along with all the other live streams I've done since the beginning of time. And you'll see the YouTube and the TikTok live chat embedded in that video. For those of you who, for those of you who want to follow me on Instagram, my Instagram is just there on top of the screen there for you, Tomisin_Atub. If you're on YouTube, on TikTok, if you're on YouTube, it's just in the link in my description there at the bottom. You'll see all the links to my social medias, okay? I'm here every weekday, Monday to Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So for those of you who want to figure out when you can catch me again live, it'll be tomorrow at 4 p.m. EST. Until then, I bid you adieu. Oh, I should add that one. That just came to my mind. Where'd it come from? The air. I bid you adieu. Goodbye. Hasta la vista. Sayonara. Adios. Ciao. Salam. Arrivederci. Bon voyage! And I'll see you again tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay, I got to add that one to the list. All right. I'll see you later. I love you. Have a good rest of your night, evening, or morning, depending on where you are in the world. I'll see you later. All right.